Hello, my name is Matthew Kay, and I'm here with
Joshua Hanlon.
And we're at BrickFair 2014 in Virginia, and we're going to give you a little bit of a tour of the event. Now, we're not going to be able to cover everything, so we're not going to show you the dust on the table and somebody's leftover pen and empty candy bar wrapper, but we're going to try and cover the biggest creations and the best creations and whatever catches our eye. So we might show you some small stuff, but some cool small stuff. But to those of you watching this, I'm sorry, this is not going to be an exhaustive tour. We will be skipping the bathrooms this time, right? We will not be showing you what the bathrooms look like.
We found those to be unnecessary.
Just Lego creations, just cool Lego creations. So let's get this started.
Okay.
So here we go. We're going to start this off with a wonderful build. Lots of figures you can see. Tons and tons of stuff. There is, my God, it looks like thousands and thousands of figures.
This is one of the big castle collaborations here at BrickFair.
And this is Assault on Maldrix by Joshua Brooks. And it looks like there might be a couple more collaborators, but he was the main builder. So very, very nice build. Lots of figures. That's the buzzword. Lots and lots of figures.
And bringing it on around here, this is the whole castle display here, so this will be all castle-themed mocks all along here. Now you've got some really good terrain. Here's a kind of a oceanside build, the house and the dock. Some stables, small castle wall all along there. Nice little village.
Wonderful village. It's a wonderful, really, really wonderful village. They're using that wonderful water technique of just dumping one by one trans blue plates onto a base plate and calling it water, which works really well for me.
That is a technique that has become more and more popular.
Parts dumping, right,
Yeah,
Josh?
If you saw our Brick World tour where we pointed that out a few different times as well. So, coming along here, here's kind of a pirate's...
More parts dumping, as you can see, wonderful water technique. It's interesting that they decided to use 3 different shades of trans-clear 1x1 round plates.
That actually kind of adds a little depth to the build, and rather
like
than
waves.
just rather than just one all dark blue or whatever color it might be. But you keep going along here. This is the really huge castle builds. This one here is really incredible. There's so much detail on these. All the tan here and
lots of interesting components here. And it obviously has a center court. There's lots of stuff going on inside. But a very interesting technique that they've chosen to use here on the tile work on the inside. So it looks like they're kind of staggering the tile at a certain interval to create what looks like a hexagonal pattern kind of. I'm not a bricklayer, so I don't know the exact term for this, but it is beautiful nonetheless.
Very much so. The roofs are also really well done here with the slopes on top to add that extra rounded look on the top. It was really cool. And then next to that we have this build here, base plate with a few minifigs and bricks. Kind of underwhelming after seeing that. But then we come to another massive castle build right here.
Obviously, they didn't have enough black pieces, so they decided to build it in white. I mean, they had a lot of black pieces, so they decided to build a big castle in black.
For sure. I think that the black collection here must have been massive. The red roofs look good as well, but there's so much to see here. You've got the main castle kind of back there with the towers all connected, the courtyard all in here with some of the village.
Just absolutely massive, really, is the only way you can describe it.
This was built by Todd Butler, so shout out to him for one of the biggest, if not the biggest, castle builds here at BrickFair. And then you keep moving along here. This is kind of a large cliff scene, and you can see that the rock work is really well done there.
And we're not sure if this yellow cube is intentional, if it means something, or whether it's an artistic statement, or simply a leftover remnant from whatever the builder was using to set up the creation.
So it almost looks like, is there something that should go on top there? It looks like,
or is that the grass might have just been mowed. I'm not sure, or the grass has not yet been installed. Very unsure about this build, but either way, it looks like Charlie Nienber, age 15, from Marlton, New Jersey, will be finishing this build for tomorrow's public hours.
Yes. Now moving along here, this was actually built by a 14-year-old right here, so this is incredible castle display. It's great to see some younger builders getting in on the action here as well, and this, again, so many cool towers, the rock work as well here, what you see on a lot of these castle builds.
Definitely a remarkable build for a 14-year-old, and I hope you take a moment to notice that there is a hot dog vendor selling his wares on the castle, which is an interesting choice of addition to the layout.
I think they were going for historical accuracy with that addition.
Yes.
Staying along here with some more castle builds. Got a little micro build right here that's really nice looking. I love that.
Very small build, but a very nice build. I think it's interesting the fact that they tried to orient the base plate in this direction. So it kind of gives an interesting kind of rockwork technique that on the front. So overall, just reorienting the base plate kind of makes it a lot more interesting to the viewer, you know, I would say.
For sure. So some smaller castle builds along here with just some minifigs. This build is another one, I think this is finished, but it's just got the one minifig coming in the long corridor to the king's throne there, and then some lighting behind there as well. You can see, that's an interesting lighting what is that, like a Sylvania light bars?
Almost, like a kind of under cabinet IKEA lighting almost, but a very, very effective use of lighting. And it's interesting to see non-Life Lights or other official LEGO lighting products, not that Life Lights are official LEGO products, but you know, other LEGO-oriented lighting products incorporated into a build so successfully.
Now here's kind of almost a temple kind of look, older. This is an interesting build here.
It's a wonderful build in particular because of the grass work that was done here. So I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to accomplish, but when you take a moment to notice that there's this ripple in the ground, that obviously took a lot of time to execute, and you really can applaud the builder for doing such a superb job, executing such a fantastic detail.
Yes, very nice. So a lot of great details like that in these castle builds. Some great foliage here with the trees. This is a build by Gabe Umland, and a really, really incredible detail on the castle walls on this one. The roof, the terrain, everything with this build. Gabe's a really great castle builder, and really excellent at that type of a build, with especially the building there.
Lots of wonderful rock work, really, really wonderful rock work is what comes to mind here.
Coming on down here, a couple more castle builds here, and then this is a massive, I believe, like a Lego police city, just
like clutch powers,
display.
Maybe something.
I'm not exactly sure.
We're not sure, but this is a Lego
minifigure,
figure, and that's all that matters.
Yeah,
very cool, very cool.
There's someone giving away a free Bionicle book.
It says free. Take me home. You know, I'll wait till Bionicle comes out next year, right? Yeah, then maybe I don't know.
Crossbow. This is actually really cool. You don't see a lot of builds like this, and it appears to actually shoot crossbows. I hope no one has gotten hurt using that, but very cool build. Some more castle coming along here. Some smaller builds. Here's kind of an old boat. Nice to always see some custom built ships like that. Some really cool. They used a cool gate technique there to get down into the kind of the trapdoor to the hole.
Definitely, and I do applaud the builder for doing. So he used one of those large boat pieces to kind of do the majority of the hole, it appears, but he did build a fantastic, very, very intricate ship on top of it. So he's obviously, using certain LEGO parts to his advantage, but he's also, kind of leveraged the ability to build a very easy hull and use that to do a fantastically detailed top part of the ship. So a really, really nice build, yeah.
All the way around, great build. Some more. No, see, here's a different water technique. This isn't the parts dumping like we've seen before. This is 2 by.
Kind of like that earlier castle build we were showing, where they took just one with brick and plate and sort of throw it on its side, and it allows you to kind of do a different sort of water technique. So you can kind of get some interesting what looks to be rippling tides, all that kind of stuff. But very, very nice that they were able to incorporate some raised water, to kind of show like a wave.
And stuff, yeah.
So overall, very, very well executed.
That does look really great.
Lots of good rock work on that too.
This is an interesting layout here. These are all kind of modules of similar size and build, where it's all these black modules. Again, someone with probably a lot of black bricks here. And there's all sorts of rooms in these, every type of castle scene imaginable here. So you got the feast going on. You've got like a library here. Those books look really neat on the bookcases. Bedrooms here, all sorts of different kinds of beds. Here's kind of the throne room. You've got like even a little map there where you're planning out your war strategy for the war to come. Practice room for the knights.
And this, my friends, is an upside down, vintage yellow Lego castle. So, call out Nathan Stoya because we're getting artistic here. This looks to be a fantastic statement on his childhood, and in fact the creation is titled Reflections of the Past, so it would appear that he has some kind of ambivalence, or maybe he's kind of trying to get beyond his childhood. Either way, you know, just a really well executed build. And if you take a moment to notice, so I kind of do like a broad pan, you can see it's like a table, and the table's completely flat, and then there's a hole, and there's a classic yellow castle inside of the hole. Like, wait, what? So
very interesting, unusual build there for sure. You're not something you see at every convention, but very cool there as well. Coming along here, we're finishing up the castle displays. So some stuff all along here, then some more dioramas. Some really cool stuff with the foliage here. The scenery is really nice. And then the rock work on this one is really incredible. This is built by Gary Brooks. The whole Brooks family is really, really good at these types of builds. And then Fort Quagmire, I believe, is this last castle build right here. So some nice walls on that one as well. And then I think that finishes up the castle for us.
I believe that is all the castle we have for now.
We'll be heading over to the historical section now here. This is the historical section here. So this is not everything here is 100% historically accurate, but most of it tries to be. All along here is the labyrinth display.
And it's a collaborative display between 8 builders, very, very well executed. And we did do a video about this that we will be posting separately, so you'll be sure to look for that.
For sure, but there's tons of different details in this. There's all sorts of, you got the mummies, there's different lighting techniques used throughout this, all diamonds, treasure everywhere, trapdoors, different, the path leads throughout the entire thing.
And it's very interesting to note that there's lots of like random stuff going on. Like this is the Ring of the Gods. So, you know, not really Egyptian, but kind of cool, so we'll throw it in there. And that's just wonderful that they've kind of taken that attitude to this display. Just make it cool, make it crazy, and just put in some fun stuff to look at. So really, really all around a great collaboration, right?
For sure. One of the cooler collaborations here at BrickFair, definitely. And coming along here, we got this is Anaconda Falls by Daniel Brooks, part of the Brooks family that I mentioned earlier. Really also, as far as Lego waterfalls go, one of the best I've ever seen. The boat's really well done. All around, just a great build. Here we start with, this is the Battle of Rorke's Drift, a battle between the British and the Zulu. Really well done build here. The thatched roofing, the British and Zulu warriors there. It's actually nominated for Best Historical Build.
And lots of olive green leaves. I do notice that when I see this build. Lots and lots of olive green leaves. And overall, just a wonderful, wonderful build. Well executed with really, really nice parts.
You'll notice the Brooks family, all of their builds, this was built by Gary Brooks, had the landscaping, things like leaves and trees and stuff like that is where they really excel.
And this is also a build by Gary Brooks. This is the blue and the gray, and this is looks to be a little interaction in a Civil War battle across an arched bridge. Very, very nice. Lots of parts dumping going on here, but very, very well executed parts dumping.
For sure. This is the Gettysburg Address here. So you got Lincoln on stage there with the crowd surrounding him. Iconic speech that was. Coming along here, we've got the Lincoln at Fort Stevens, where he was standing on top of the walls there as the battle was going on.
And that's a build by John Rudy, right?
Yes, and then you've got another build by John Rudy, which is I believe the Harper's Ferry build is what this is. So this is where John Brown attacked during the Civil War, and then later the black troops marched by.
Rudy before BrickFair actually took place, but if you take a moment to notice the arch technique that's been used in this build, I don't know if you've ever built anything in dark red, but I have, and you really come to realize that dark red arches are incredibly hard to come by. So this arch, in fact, is the inverse arch. So the bottom is solid because it's meant to face downwards. So this whole build has been executed upside down in order to allow that arch to be used in this this little build here. So really, really thoughtful building and fantastic execution on the part of John.
For sure. So some great builders along here. You've got a steam locomotive, and then another Civil War build here, the Hunley. So iconic early submarine there. And moving along, here's the biggest Civil War build here. This is a collaborative between a couple different builders, nominated for Best Historical here as well.
But mostly Gary Brooks. Lots and lots of the Brooks family in this build as well.
This is the Battle of the Wilderness. So many great Civil War. You get the Union over there, Confederacy, and then laying out the whole way the battle went down that day. So coming along here, some more historical stuff. This is, I believe, the Martin Luther King.
I Have a Dream speech,
yes.
But this is the National Mall, and this is the Lincoln Memorial, and we have the Washington Monument right here. And if you take a moment to notice that this was really, really well lit up, and that's one thing that you don't really notice when all the lights are on and it's the middle of the day during public hours. But right now, it's a little bit dim in here. I'm sure you can tell through the video, but very, very well lit up. You can see this kind of light just radiating out of the Lincoln Memorial. It looks like the real thing. And the figures, you kind of have a little bit of a rendition here of MLK's I Have a Dream speech. So a very, very thoughtful build by Christine Brown from Charlotte, North Carolina. So kudos to you, Christine.
Some more historical builds all along here. There's so many great builds. You get small, large buildings as well. The Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception here. And very interesting colors they used on that.
And it kind of does mimic a sort of an aged stonework, right?
Yeah. It's not colors you see very often on buildings.
Now, do we take a moment to appreciate this, the Venetian, this tower here? So this is a big, big tower, and it's the Canilla di San Marco. So this is from not Venice, I believe I've said that in error, but this is from Venice. Yes, sorry. But dark orange, lots and lots of dark orange. Just a wonderful, wonderful build, and it's very tall, so you can see it from far away. Just well executed.
Dark orange is great color to build in, for sure. Then continuing on down here, we've got, this is a big, actually, War of 1812 build that is not quite completed here. That you can definitely see the beginnings of it.
But
a lot of troops
on it,
on the
and
ground.
It's coming
yes.
along, and that's all that matters. And it's the effort that counts. The effort that counts. Beautiful.
Slowly chipping away at it here. You can see the minifigs on the land.
This is more epic than anything ever that Mr. Red has ever done, in my opinion. This is like his magnum opus. This is his Mona Lisa. He is Leonardo da Vinci, and he is painting the Mona Lisa with this.
Let's just hope he finishes it before the public gets in. Now, that finishes up the historical builds. Over here, I think, next we have the Okie Lug display. And Okie Lug is the Oklahoma, or Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana display. But before we got that, we've got a couple large minions here that are on display. These should be instantly recognizable to anyone who's seen the Despicable Me.
They're relatively sturdy. I think I could probably knock it over if I pushed it hard enough, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not an evil person, and I really shouldn't have even touched it. But overall, fantastic build. Just kind of insane that someone built this with their own personal collection,
Mm-hmm. Great build. There's another one down there that we'll see in a minute. So like I said, this is the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana LEGO users group. It's fairly typical display for a lug here. You've got the train track all around the outside, and then a lot of custom buildings throughout it. Pizza Hut, a diner, some great. There's a hospital.
And they haven't built any chain restaurants. That's why they did not build a Pizza Hut, and they did not build a Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they did not build Taco Bell. But oh wait, they actually did build a ton of chain restaurants. But these are incredibly well executed fast food restaurants, and sometimes you see lots of fast food restaurants on town train layouts, but those really are a cut above the rest.
Those are the cool things to look out for in train displays and lug displays. And then here's the other minion we were talking about, the one-eyed minion here. So I believe those were both done by the same builder. Great as well. Bringing you around the rest of the Okie Lug display. Lego Tower. Kind of a park scene going on here. You can see the nice roads they built. Then you've got the docks along here. Some great custom ships. So look at the fire tube, the fireboat, the second fireboat there. Coming along here, some more custom boats. And then a little more park scene, maybe a little pond there.
Very interesting pond in the fact that it is this is trans dark brown or trans brown or trans black, whatever you want to call it. But either way, it looks like this pond might have a slight problem with pollution. But either way, people are kayaking on it and doing all kinds of fun recreational activities, so very, very nice.
Kind of looks like a massive oil spill might have taken place in it recently.
Or a sewage spill or anything fun like that, but very nice, very nice. And the roads are black in this town layout, which I think is interesting because most clubs decide to do gray roads, but I feel like black is more accurate to the asphalt that actually occurs in real life.
More realistic.
So I believe now we're transitioning to another layout, and we're going to move a long way away, and we're going to go to the steampunk builds. Steampunk builds.
Yes, definitely. So this is the whole steampunk layout over here. You'll see all sorts of steampunk builds, starting right here. We've got, this is the Great West. So the West is kind of a popular area to try out some steampunk techniques in. Flying blimp ships and stuff like that.
This was built by Jasper Brewers, age 14, so this is a 14-year-old's creation. So just think about what you were able to do when you were 14, and then look at this, and then look at this, and then think about what you were able to do when you were 14. So
and just be disappointed in yourself.
Pretty fantastic.
Coming on down here, we got a whole bunch more steampunk, some mini stuff right there. You've got like a steam bot, steam force, some great little smaller builds. What is this one here? This is the
grand arrest of Professor Philos Bertram, Logan Philo, age 15. Okay. So my question is, how does a 15-year-old acquire so much? I believe this is sand green. That is a very nice Lego color, so kudos to you, Logan, for acquiring so much sand green and doing so much awesome stuff with it. This is just a fantastic build. Both the base is rendered beautifully, and it's also just filled with lots and lots of wonderful little creations with lots of intricate detailing. So, wonderful parts variety here and a wonderful, wonderful execution. So not only do they have wonderful parts to build with, but they also are able to execute them exquisitely.
For sure, and I think my favorite is the house here. You can see all the kind of steam pipes going through it and the smoke coming out the top. And
something about steampunk that you always notice is that a lot of times they're like, they're kind of creations, or there's like a vehicle or something that's supposed to move, but this is a person that's actually taken the time to render a steampunk, like kind of a layout or a diorama. So there's like a physical, aspect to it. It's not just a one tank or something like that. It's the tank, but it's also given context.
Mm-hmm. Coming along here, another build by Gay Boomland there, the I believe the Legna. Yeah, that's what it's called, okay. Headhunters, an interesting technique here. You've got kind of, what is that, like the switch controls with blue...
Those are two-stud, or those are extra long, like, Technic pins.
Yes, so blue Technic
and then
pins.
A Galador head, right?
Yeah. Almost for like a field, like a futuristic wheat field or something in there.
And then there's like a Galador head. You can't forget the Galador head.
Yeah, you just gotta... Galador head pulling the wagon, so kind of a futuristic monster. That technique works really well.
And then the same builder has a lovely, lovely little diorama called Judgment Day over here, and this is a round, so it's on a round base, and they've actually taken the time to put it on a big, like, turntable, Lazy Susan type of thing. So I will believe we will spin it around for you and give you a look of what it looks like from all sides. So really, really exquisite building here. Building something round with square bricks is definitely a challenge, and they believe to have executed this very well.
Oh yeah, the round base on that looks great, and then when they put it on something that can turn like that, it always looks really nice as well. Then coming down here, we got, this is kind of a, what is this, like a steam workshop, so kind of a factory almost kind of thing that you got going on here.
So kind of like we were saying earlier, like a lot of times steampunk builds, it's just like a spaceship or something or another that's supposed to move around, but this again is a lovely, lovely layout or something physical, like a building, So it adds context to the stuff that's inside of it and around it.
For sure, so you can see the different airships and things being put through the factory. You got some nice buildings outside there, even a courtyard and everything. The whole everything you could want in the steampunk build. And then over here we've got the Olympia airship, which was built by Stephen Pockbaz, who designed the Mars Curiosity rover. And the propellers on this actually move. It's a really, really great build. So very cool steampunk airship there, and it's instantly recognizable as a steampunk themed build.
Definitely, and this is one of those builds that's just, the fact that they're able to get such a ridiculous shape out of, simple plates, just amazing, just remarkable.
Here's the Blackjack, another kind of steampunk build, but definitely taken in a different direction with all the more black sloping pieces as the top there. And then just one, I think, lone minifig down steering it. Check out the on the jetpack there with the white pieces used to make like smoke. That's an interesting technique. Very cool stuff there.
Dan Austin, Charm City Lugs, shout out to you for doing something amazing.
Moving along here, more steampunks. You've got some smaller creations. There's an armed car thing right there. The Wildest West here, so even worse than the Wild West. This is a couple of massive steampunk layouts right here. Steam Castle of the Dead is what this is, and you've obviously got the big black building in the back there, kind of a mansion almost look, and then the huge courtyard with the fence all around it here. And you know, there's more black in this than most steampunk builds, it seems like, but still really well done. So many great details. Then you've got the moon up above as well. You don't want to miss that.
And if that were to drop on said layout, maybe a little bit of chaos would occur. So I'm sure they are very, very trusting of their metal bending or assembly skills, right?
I would hope so. You don't just stick one of those up there above your build without checking it first. Here's a large steampunk bug, and this is really well done as well with a lot of black in it, flying high above the steampunk world.
And if you notice the plates that they're using, it appears that they're using the collectible minifigure base plates, the 2x3 with one stud running down the center for the majority of the structure of the build, which is a very interesting choice of plate, but very effective because it kind of gives you the beauty of the studs with the beauty of the tile combined in a perfect 1-to-3 ratio, right?
For sure, yeah. You see that technique, seems like every once in a while, not super popular, but you definitely see that when you're looking for a different kind of texture on the outside of a build.
And then, Josh, looks like over here,
yes,
this is not a creation. Let's get that out of the way first. But this is something that is unique to BrickFair. You don't really see it at a lot of conventions. And this is a Lego treasure chest. It's one of those annoying things where the claw is supposed to pick up something and then spit it out. So you're supposed to, guide the claw around and sort of try and pick up something and then get it out. So I don't have $1 on me right now. Do you have $1?
No,
Do you have $1, John? Do you have $1? So it looks like we might have $1 here. We're going to try and play it for you guys real quick.
Then we could maybe.
All right, let's see what we can do.
Let's see. Try to. Okay, there's $1 right there.
There's $1 from the cameraman. Well, thank you, cameraman, for the $1. All right.
Well, so what we can do for you guys here, try this game, and like Matthew was saying, this is not a real common game you see at a lot of conventions. This is kind of unique to BrickFair. Okay, so why don't you control it? I'll hit drop claw, and we'll see what we get. We work together here and hopefully get something. Tell me when you want me to drop it. Drop. Okay, this close to success on that one, but couldn't quite get it this time.
Give me another $1.
Okay, now Matthew's now addicted to it, so we're gonna have to get him off that. But we also have some more similar games like that are unique to BrickFair. This is one of those coin games where you drop the coin in the back and it pushes stuff off the front.
So this is like all the most annoying arcade games you've ever seen in your life.
Yes, the impossible ones that you could never do any good at.
So it's okay. It's okay.
Here's similar to the claw machine. You put this bucket truck kind of thing, you stick it down in there, and you can try to pick up some pieces with it. And then coming along here, we'll start actually back down here with the mosaic line. And this is a whole line of just really incredible mosaics. We'll get to the very end here so we can show them all to you in detail. Starting with little Remember Our Heroes. Simple American flag there is a really, really great build. So this is, I believe, who's that? Danny Pecora's name badge. I'm wearing more Lego than you.
He likes to build really kind of off the wall stuff. So he's decided that his name badge is a creation in of itself, which might be a little bit of a stretch, but I guess the center of it is a mosaic. So, yeah,
I think it counts.
Think outside of the box.
Here's some Lego flowers. This is all Lego built and inspired by a Lego rose that the builder purchased at Legoland, California. Interesting techniques there with some cool Lego flowers. This is a stained glass window, one of the best mosaics here at Brick World. There's some great light. He's got Christmas lights behind it for the lighting, and then in the front it's all trans clear bricks as they put those all together, all different colors on that. So Mike Ripley is nominated for Best Mosaic. He made the frame himself as well. Really well done mosaic there. Coming along here we have Forest, and that is actually built by builders. Forrest Feller is his Flickr username, so that's what that is. This is Marianne Asanuma's Doctor Who mosaics, nominated for Best Mosaic. Really, really detailed. This is Rosie the Riveter, nominated for Best Mosaic as well. One of the bigger ones here for sure. Lots of detail in there. You can see all the colors, 3D effect on that. Got the words at the top and everything. So a great recreation of that poster. Little Sonic the Hedgehog build here. Little simpler mosaic, and then the 4 Duck Dynasty guys right here. Again, nominated for Best Mosaic. So interesting mix of white and black and some dark tans to get that effect. Here's actually, I believe this is Alexander the Great, which I don't think I've ever seen done in a mosaic before. That's an interesting build right there. You can see some of the reference photos he's got, but Alexander the Great I don't think I've ever seen in a mosaic before.
And it's very interesting to include the reference photos, because you're able to kind of take a moment to appreciate the reference photo and then kind of look back at the Lego creation and see what they were able to do.
Yeah, for sure. So that's very cool. It'd be nice to see more ancient historical figures like that done in mosaics. Then you've got Homer Simpson, instantly recognizable there.
And those are builds by Puganicious10, who has a prominent YouTube channel where he kind of goes and sort of does, like, what would you say, Josh? Like kind of a mockery of, or not a mockery, but sort of like a spoof of popular, songs, like popular music videos.
So it's kind of a spoof of them, like you were saying. And so yeah, check out his YouTube channel.
So he is both a very creative YouTuber and a very creative builder.
There's a snail build with kind of like trans clear base plate there. All different sorts of interesting mosaic you see along here. Ninjago. So you've got the letters are all built out of Ninjago weapons. I've never seen that before either. So kind of cool new Ninjago build there. And then the green horse. A couple of different horse mosaics. They used 1x1 studs to achieve pretty much that whole technique there, mixed in with a few white and green plates. Come along here, you actually have a 3D printer printing some minifigs and things like that. So you can see all this cool minifigs built by the 3D printer there. We've got a bunch of some Star Wars themed builds and a few other kind of themed almost dioramas here. So you can see that's the Wookiees there. Endor Patrol. You've got here's the White Council of Rivendell with Lord of the Rings. These are really, really smooth looking builds. It's
really, really well executed, and it's not only the build itself, but it's also very nice how they've kind of executed the surroundings of the build. So they've taken the time to kind of put in a border, which really kind of gives a finite end to the build, which is nice. And then they've taken that and kind of blown it out the window. And for this build over here, they've just kind of left it kind of a little bit of a jagged edge, which is very nice. And then just all this water technique of taking these 1x2 Translite blue tiles, which are widely available on pick-a-brick walls, and just kind of using it as a water technique. Very, very, very innovative. And moving on down, we see another build, which is kind of using the same sort of border technique and lots of tan plate to sort of create a scene around some lovely, lovely ships here.
Definitely make sure to zoom in on to get the depth of the landscaping there. That's really good. They've got, 4 or 5 different layers
of plates, and so they've kind of staggered it at odd angles to sort of create a really, really interesting effect. And so it's almost forced perspective, but not really. It's just really kind of creating like a very nice backdrop or diorama. And here are some Friends figures by John Lazar. And it looks like they're all customized. So he's taken the time to kind of individually paint or modify each one to really make them special. So very, very interesting choice of little creativity there.
And there's a chess set. That's the Dark Knight chess set, actually. So you've got a Batman-themed chess set there. That's very interesting, yeah.
Very nice, and it's very cool that they were able to kind of build it. It looks like it's very, very playable, so pieces that you can easily grip and kind of mess around with.
Point out the little card there. A lot of these BrickFair builds have some funny little cards you put on it. That one there says fingers caught touching will be returned at end of the show. Thank you.
So they distribute those inside of the registration packets that all the vendors or the builders get when they, arrive. So it's pretty funny to see them scattered around. So here's a Batman maxi fig, and it looks like it's posing, getting ready to throw some dynamite or TNT. So very, very well executed stop mosaic on the chest there. Lots of cheese slopes used to great effect. So a wonderful, wonderful build. You see these done in Lego stores or Lego, theme parks all over the world. But to do this at such a small scale with so much physical motion, very, very, very nice build.
For sure. Now, another cool Batman build here is you can see they've got them side by side, a recreation of the comic there. They've got a Lego version of the front of that Batman comic. So that's really cool as well. And then kind of a Wayne Manor build here.
And it's a very nice, Wayne Manor is certainly no easy feat, so this has been executed rather well. Lots of plates showing, which is an interesting choice, but, it makes it look Lego-y, so. But, very nice build, well executed, what can you say, really? It's Wayne Manor.
Yeah, you see a lot of different versions of that, but very good build there.
Definitely. So now we're moving on to another section. And I'm not sure what the theme is here, Josh. What are we talking about here?
This
is Star Wars minifigures on a base plate. We have Star Wars minifigures on a base plate. And right now, this is something special.
That's the
Simon Electronic game.
Where you have to kind of remember the buttons and hit them all in the order that they light up. So.
And this is built by John Turner, 44, from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Gotta love it. So kudos to you, John. That is a fantastic build. And we have some really wonderful kind of angles getting here. So it's very easy to build square things with square bricks. But like we said, round bricks, building something round out of square bricks, not easy. So this guy's done a very good job of executing that.
Continuing along here, like a whole mix of builds all along here. There's anything you can imagine. Castle. There's a DreamWorks logo. That's
this is a Modulex mosaic, which is an interesting build. You don't really see too many Modulex creations to build a Modulex mosaic. That's really
it's also a Lego crossword puzzle, which you don't see very often either.
Yeah, so we're hitting all the birds with one stone here. We just said, you know what? They're gonna build something that just blows everything out of the water.
For sure. Lego Movie logo, that's become more popular build as the more popular Lego Movie gets, the more of those you see.
Definitely, and that's a smaller one than you usually. So lots of times though it'll be like a really, really big build, but that is a very small, that's distilled the essence of what the Lego Movie logo is.
Mm-hmm. This is a kind of a neat, interesting waterfall technique there. It's kind of just the studs on top of each other, so you kind of small little area, but
definitely lots of parts dumping as well, always nice.
Some more Star Wars along here.
And then here we are treated to some lovely builds by Gregory Kokels, and he is a very, very fine gentleman from Belgium, but he has visited the United States for a brief period. And this is his Winchester Tavern from the Shaun of the Dead. Now this, if you've been paying attention to LEGO Ideas Kusu, did appear on the site for some time, and it reached the 10,000 votes. But it did not make through the review process because I guess LEGO determined that the intellectual property was not suitable for the Lego, I guess, what do they call it? The family of ideas, or the system of play, or the fair play policy. So, oh well, but kudos to you, Greg, for a fantastic build, and, very, very nice that you're able to spend some time here in the United States and kind of get out and show your creations off like that. Yeah,
he's got a whole series of great builds all along here, so really great builder.
Good stuff. And that looks like a Nerdly, right? So shout out to Tommy Williamson. I think that is a special Nerdly. I don't know if it's Greg's, but I think it is Greg's because this is all Greg's stuff. So very, very cool Nerdly there. It looks like, what is it, headphone wiring Nerdly, something like that?
Very cool. I think it might be. And then a little more Star Wars. This is a really cool build. It was actually in
auctioned off in the
charity
right?
auction.
Yeah,
yes.
auction.
So this is the boy flying a kite. You've got the beautiful rainbow technique. And then there's actually, I believe, doves in the corners of that. They might be kind of hard to see up close.
Yeah, I think when it's backlit or something like that, it's easier to see the background. But this piece, it was some mosaic. What were the parts kind of like 30,000 pieces or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Something ridiculous.
It's incredible. It's just plates stacked on top of each other there in the back.
Absolutely insane amount of parts in that creation.
And then a creation, this appears to be some kind of an owl, but some sort of animal. Here it's the North Wind, based on the children's story. And interesting technique with all the trans clear bricks in that. For an animal build, you don't see that very often.
Certainly, and it appears that the most of the trans clear elements are in fact 1x2 trans clear plate, which was widely available on pick-a-brick walls across the country. So it's nice that they're able to leverage such a widely available part in a very interesting way, because usually you see that used in such predictable manners, either water or either a window, but to do something sculptural with it, that's really tough out of the box.
Yeah, that's very rare.
And here we see a build that looks like just a normal table fan in a room, and it has, if you kind of are able to get over the top of it, you can see it has a wall socket, which is pretty remarkable. So this is something that it looks like what Bruce Lowell would build, right?
That is, yeah, kind of an everyday home item, something that maybe Bruce Lowell would build, and yeah, it's really well. It's even, like you said, got the wall socket plug-in and everything.
Definitely. So they were able to kind of build that context, and it's really all about building context,
It actually spins as well too, so they got everything going on there.
So we will try and spin it for you, but we're not going to spin it for you because we don't want to offend the builders.
Yes.
So, we're sorry, but, whatever.
Another build along here, this is just called Air, which is actually kind of the Air and Wind, I think is the name of the theme here at BrickFair this year. And this kind of has every layer, starting with the ocean, you've got the sharks, then you go up to the land.
And it kind of looks like we're in the Air and Wind. Are we in the Air and Wind section now? I think we might be. So those builds we just covered previously with the kite flying and the fan, I think those were all Air and Wind. So this is another Air and Wind categorization.
It goes all the way up to space from the ocean, so you get the whole thing going on there.
Very interesting stuff. And this looks to be a nice little Quidditch match. Always cute to see a Quidditch match.
And then you see a few, if you go back to the next Quidditch match, is the box of air that's just sitting there with the clear windows around it. So
someone has a sense of humor.
Yes, definitely. This is a large tornado build here, which is really interesting. That tornado actually spins there at the top.
They've actually taken the time to build kind of a frame out of PVC pipes, and then they've suspended on top this kind of build. It's like train tracks with train motors, and it sort of spins the whole tornado around. So this is absolutely ridiculous and completely amazing. And so they kind of rendered that dark cloud, and then here's the tornado, and it's sort of sucked up all of this glass and sort of shrapnel, and it's just kind of ravaging its way through a prairie or somewhere in Kansas, the Midwest, right? Who knows? But just completely ridiculous build, and very nice that they're able to do something so out of the box, literally out of the box, by incorporating PVC pipes and just doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Moving along here, we got some more kind of spaceships and stuff, so you could say this is in the air kind of theme.
And here we have Toucan Sammy. I mean, this is Toko Toucan, very nice, by Tristan Kane from Southwick, Massachusetts. Lovely, lovely snot work on the nose. Lots of plates going in different directions. This is something that is very hard to execute. That it almost looks like something a master model builder would
yeah,
make, right?
Yeah, really similar to something you'd see like a master model builder do.
Very sophisticated build.
Lots of great colors too. The bright oranges, the yellows, the reds, everything blends really well in that build.
And I believe that is an extinct bird, right, Josh? Or I think so, right?
I think it might be.
Sure. So you see it in Lego form, you don't see it in real life.
And then here's actually a bouncy castle flying away, which I think there have been in actual real news stories.
That does occur sometimes. Yeah, I think that does occur. If the winds are right, the people are light, right? Yeah.
That's about right. So News at 11 there, the card says you can hear about the bouncy castle flying away.
And now it appears that we are not in Kansas anymore. The Wizard of Oz. So a wonderful, wonderful little layout, and lots of times, I believe what was the Wizard of Oz Collaborative at Brickworld last year, just a completely massive layout with so much going on, but this is obviously, it appears to be one person, so, this is something that's doable by one person, but very, very well executed for one person.
Almost kind of reminds me of like a Candyland game. You kind of start here, and then you end up at the castle at the end, and different stops along the way.
And you're able to get a lot of stuff into this. So you have the house, kind of, and it looks to be almost forced perspective, because you start off at minifig scale, and by the time you get to the Emerald Castle, right, it's sort of, it's kind of, smaller, sort of forced perspective almost.
Very well done with that Wizard of Oz build. Moving slowly along here, you get some, couple more ships.
A nice little ship.
This ship here is really incredible with the way they
it looks like it's run aground, right?
Yeah, they kind of teetered it almost on the rock a little bit, and some really cool details all along there. And then a little bit
a nice little Star Wars diorama, lots of dark green, so much dark green.
It's nice to see actually a Star Wars diorama with some real well done builds, so like trees and stuff like that. That really takes a lot of time to put in, and not just the Star Wars sets sitting there. Some more Star Wars stuff all along here. Obviously, always a popular theme at every convention. And
very interesting that they're able to include more parts dumping. It's always nice to see that. And also these lovely sprues, which are lacking flowers, but that makes it look like grass. So very interesting that they have the beach and the water and the grass. So you have all three. You have grass, you have beach, and water. And just to recap, that is beach, sand, and then grass.
And I think we should point out that they actually switched up the parts dumping because these are not 1x1 rounds.
These are 1x1 cones in trans dark blue or light blue or blue.
The parts dumping technique with that.
They are not dumping your typical parts. These might not have even been available on the Pick-a-Brick wall, although I'm sure they were at one point.
Here's some custom minifigs, which you'll see a lot at BrickFairs. All different builders bring custom minifigs here, so very cool stuff there. Get some Justice League figs, Guardians of the Galaxy there.
And a very nice display case that they're able to use.
Moving along a little bit more here, there's an M-Tron Citadel mixed in. And then these here are called, I think they call them Brick Buddies, is what you'd call these. And the way these work are, they're just normal bricks, like 2x2s and 2x2 plates, and they use those to make all different sorts of TV show and movie characters.
So this is like the abstract art version of the cube, dude. So you're distilling the essence of what something could be in Lego form. And I believe the New York Times I think they did something similar to this, where they were taking just very, very basic Lego elements and sort of rendering out, maybe that wasn't the New York Times, but they went viral on social media at some point, right, Josh?
Yeah, I know these did go viral a little while ago, because they're really fun to try to spot. You know, can you name every fig here?
Definitely. And these were built by Charlotte Turner, Graham Turner, and Jack Turner, all of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So this might have been a family affair.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Very well done. Coming along here is a really incredible build by Tyler.
Olive green. Olive green.
The weapon from Aliens. So it's a pulse rifle. And that's just, the details on that are so nice.
And the fact that he was able to do it all in olive green, that is a challenge in of itself. This color has been around, a lot. The kids in kindergarten are older than this color, right, Josh?
Yeah.
So the fact that he was able to do something so elaborate in such a rare color, with such fantastic execution, is really a testament to his skill as a builder.
For sure. Then the USS Enterprise, always cool to see an Enterprise build. Interesting techniques with the rounding, everything there. A few more spaceships, some boats along here. Nice mix of all sorts of builds. All along here, and then big spaceship here. This is kind of interesting. You got the big, massive,
lots of
canopy.
Big glass pieces, right?
Big glass pieces, big white panels, and
there's no wonder why Lego does not make those big glass pieces anymore. I'm sure that those were very, very difficult to mold. So you don't really see those in sets too many anymore. So the fact that they're able to use those in a wonderful build like that is pretty remarkable. And here's a lovely little diorama with some trees in it and a little bit of a waterfall. And then moving over, we see another diorama. It looks like there's lots of printed elements.
No,
I think this is a game. This looks to be a playable game.
This is the mixed section, so you've got some Duplo in here. You've got all sorts of different things that they mix in with the bricks.
And a wonderful, wonderful Duplo little layout here. You have all kinds of houses and trees. This is a Duplo city. And it's nice to see kind of a serious Duplo creation at a convention like this.
It is, because
it's typically a completely underwritten
you
theme,
rarely see much Duplo. This is probably the most Duplo real creations, series creations that I've seen in one spot before. And then you've got different colors. This almost looks like a Lego house when you first, normal, smaller size Lego bricks. When you first look at it.
This looks like Daniel Picor's keychain collection. Okay, so we have all of his collectible Lego, like Duplo bricks from Legolands and all kinds of fun stuff like that, and all the keychains from the signature Lego stores across the world. So you have Orlando, Chicago, Legoland, Malaysia, Copenhagen, all kinds of cool stuff. The VIP red minifigure and the VIP, or not the VIP, but that was just the chromed gold classic minifigure. So very, very nice.
Got the Olympic rings in two different versions, kind of the water clear versions of it here. Those are really nice, and all sorts of spirals and different stuff with these clear bricks. Kind of interesting patterns, almost an art piece here. Then you got the surfer. This is a
Lego Death Star clock, and it looks like it's been featured on Wired. The builder was nice enough to include a printout of that article, and I guess it's there's a Death Star. It's made of Lego, and it tells time. And by the Wired article, I'm kind of inferring that, and this says vote for us at legokusu.com, so I'm sure that's legoideas.com, But, this looks like something that you could own, too, if it makes it through the revision process.
Yeah, so shout out to Mark W. from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania for that interesting build there with the Death Star clock.
So go search it up on LEGO Ideas, and maybe you, too, could own one.
For sure. Coming along here, some more mixed builds. You got a little White Castle build here.
And it looks like it's the Lord of the Rings White Castle or something. So there's definitely some crazy stuff going on here. I'm sure we're not privy to the exact reasoning behind this build, but either way, we can appreciate the wonders that it kind of beholds.
The quest to the White Castle. So very worthy quest there.
And here it looks like there's a little bit of a Winter Village layout with a Bionicle mech or creation or kind of hanging off the side. Very, very interesting that they kind of use the edge of the table to their advantage there. Make sure to get to see the look at, wow, look at hanging off, completely hanging off. So if I was to pick up this little thing right here, it would fall onto the floor and break into a million pieces, and we wouldn't want that to happen, so I'm not going to do that.
And I believe that's that Colonial Lug, which I think is a teen LEGO users group there, so that's really, really cool stuff. Some more arrangements of builds along here, helicopters, Star Wars Wampa Cave, final episode of The Walking Dead, little dioramas. So this is some more mixed builds as well. All here, you got the maze, a whole all green tiled maze there. So very smooth looking build. This is a really cool build. This is the big balls from the ABC TV game show Wipeout. So if you've ever seen that show, they have to jump on those from one to another to get to the other side, and really interesting build. Then in the back you've got a popcorn machine and a gumball machine. Small detailed builds. Here's a Lincoln Log cabin. So Lincoln Log and Lego, kind of two very popular children's toys. Well, they combined them and made Lincoln Logs out of Lego bricks.
And at BrickFair a couple years back, the Bionicle kids were actually kind of, Todd made fun of them, I guess you could say, or maybe it wasn't Todd, it was someone else in a position of authority. They said, Bionicle's like Lincoln Logs, or it's not real Lego. And so the Bionicle people went out and bought a Lincoln Log set and came back with it the next day and set it up on the table and said, oh, well, if that's not, Bionicle's not Lego, then Lincoln Logs isn't Lego either, and that's fine, so we're going to put Lincoln Logs at a Lego convention. So maybe that's a little bit of an in-joke, but either way, wonderful, wonderful build, great execution.
Yeah, it's instantly recognizable as Lincoln Logs as well. And coming along here, you got Benny the Spaceman in the back, smaller, kind of maxi-fig build. The little soccer there. Then some minifigs. Here's the Hammer of Justice. So it would appear the police put the prisoner in the cell and then bring down the Hammer of Justice on them. I'm sure there's a lot of symbolism in that build regarding the court systems and the prison systems of today. So there's a lot you could read into that build, I'm sure. Old Man in the Sea here. So you've got the fisherman on top, all the different sea creatures below him. Here's an interesting castle build, very precariously perched on top of some rock work there. Some really nice tall towers and things. Lego Movie stuff, some minifigs. And this is a build based on it's called Scrap of Paper, based on a piece of artwork called 23 Scraps of Paper. They have some white kind of hanging there. Minecraft, a little more Bionicle. Pikmin, right there, a few characters from Pikmin.
A very interesting build, really. You have to kind of appreciate the fact that there's both a blue build, the purple build, and a red build, which I think is very nice, right, Josh?
And then here's a great, I believe this is Doctor Who, yes. So this is if you're a fan of Doctor Who, you probably recognize this, and great little cube build kind of there. Interesting way they set that whole build up with the cube to hold it all. There's some Modulex in the back, so you see a Modulex giraffe, Modulex snails, all sorts of stuff like that. Then some more. These are very large Lego bricks over here.
Very large, very, very large. This is the Lego storage cubes, and so it looks like this is the snail lady. creative snail. I don't know her real name. She just likes to build snails. Big snail. And these are the storage bricks. And you can actually build with them, and it looks like she has. So, you know, you see everything here at BrickFair. Bricks small and both large. And these are definitely some large bricks.
And they get kind of smaller here. They've even got some of these here, these bigger ones that still have the Lego word on top of them. So just kind of real, they're not real huge like that, but like a little bit bigger than the normal bricks. Coming along here, we've got an interesting wind farm build. Come to the front of it here. You can see all the windmills in the back there. Great landscaping. You can't even imagine all the green plates it took them to do that build. So much work, and you can even see there's a couple of miners there, so inside the hill is a mine. Then over here on the left side, you've got some water.
And this is a wonderful layout because of the amount of, this is something, this amount of terrain is not really seen that often. So the fact that they're able to kind of build such a beautiful, gently sloping hill and then kind of erect so many wonderful wind turbines, really just a wonderful build and very well executed. Mm-hmm. And so now we are on our way to the Penlug layout, and there is a lot to cover. This is like the Babylon of Lego Town layouts. So here we go. And we will start in the corner with some of Kale Lephart's lovely buildings. And these are, I believe, what he debuted either at Philly Brickfest or Brick World. But either way, they are very, very new. And you can see that he has the roof off here, and you're able to kind of get an idea of what kind of building technique he used. And this is that sort of technique where you clip the little panel pieces into clip hinges, and then it kind of looks like really realistic siding. And I personally have built one or two things using that technique, and I can say it is not easy. And I built stuff that was very, very small. So the fact that he was able to accomplish so much at such a large scale really is a testament to patience and I guess really patience.
I think in the end it's one of those techniques that if you put the work into it, it definitely pays off, because if you look at that, it looks so realistic, just like real siding, even working in with the windows and everything. So
oh yeah, and you get everything you put into it, you get out of it, because it really does look that great. And everything in this whole layout is like that, and I'm sure we could praise everything about it for 25 days and 6 nights and 3 years, but we're going to try and give you an idea of what really makes this layout amazing. So take a moment to appreciate the fact that the inside of this has a basement. So that this layout is kind of all raised up. So this allows you to have a basement kind of area, and it looks from the outside like, you know, flat ground, and then you come to the inside and there's a basement, and then you look to the back and there's a hill sloping down. So it's like a real life model train layout that has all kinds of terrain, and then over here it kind of goes up in the corner, and the track goes in all sorts of crazy directions, and just an amazing amount of effort to kind of allow these angles to exist in Lego form. So, but moving on, we're going to try and get you through here. We see lots of wonderfully rendered train cars, and these are in 8 wide, which is different than 6 wide. It's a little bit more parts intensive, but it's also somewhat more realistic depending on who you talk to.
You can fit a little more detail into it, and get some really cool techniques going on with it.
Definitely. And here we have a little bit of a farming scene. I guess that what does it appear to be, tobacco?
Yeah,
kind of tobacco maybe, and then lots of wonderful tree techniques. And then this tree almost mimics that old cypress tree part that Lego used to make, but unfortunately has been discontinued. So on the aftermarket, I believe that's going for what, in excess of $30 now?
I think
and
so,
yeah. They've taken the time to kind of render it out in plate. So it's actually a lot more of an accomplishment to sort of render out something that you could have bought as a part.
Saves them the $30 for buying it.
Yeah, most definitely will. And then it also looks fantastic, because you're able to tell, wow, they really spent some time building a tree.
Random Doctor Who build in the middle of Penlug.
Lovely little tidbit.
You'll see Doctor Who builds on almost every display at a convention. They're a little bit of everywhere.
Oh yeah. And now this is a roundhouse, obviously. We have a nice little turntable with a Western and Maryland steam engine on it. And this whole roundhouse is built out of, what is it, Josh?
Let's see, that's all...
It looks like Modulex.
Yeah,
so they built a minifig scale building out of Modulex, which is completely insane. And I touched it, and I probably shouldn't touch it, but oh well. So it's completely insane to build something that large out of Modulex. So maybe they found a honey hole somewhere full of Modulex, or they were able to persuade someone to get all that Modulex. Either way, I'd kind of like to know the story behind that acquisition, but really remarkable build. And so that is a Lego, like a color that you really can't kind of, I guess that's not a Lego color, right? That's a Module X color.
Yeah.
So from afar, it does kind of look like, wait a minute, what is that? And you get closer, oh, it's Module X. Wow.
And then coming along further down here, here's almost kind of this is like a scrapyard of colored parts, I guess you could say.
So. It looks like a scrapyard almost of spaceship parts, right?
Yeah, possibly. I guess as a train builder, you don't need a ton of spaceship parts,
no,
so you
might as well turn them into a scrapyard. And here we have a wonderful engine house for the train, not the train, that is the trolley, the Penlug trolley. And so over the course of the past couple of years, I believe this is Cale Lepard's build, he's been able to complete it and sort of finish it off. And so every year it gets more and more complete. But it's a wonderful build, sand green and lots of snot techniques, so good stuff.
You can see the Penlug logo on the side of the train car there. That's really nice technique they put on there.
Oh yeah. And then here we have, I believe this is also Cale Lepard's mobile gas station. A wonderful build with lots of little tiny details, but just really a stellar rendition of an early American gas station. This is, what would this be, like 1920s, 30s?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range.
Right in there, you got the
Art Deco kind of look.
The gas station workers out there.
Lots of effort was obviously put into the pumps. You know, you can kind of see that it's, studs on four sides, plates facing out, and a wonderfully rendered gas pump with also including the mobile logo at the top. So, you know, very intricate build.
Someone stuck a frog pod on there as well in front of the one.
So Simon Liu is everywhere. He really is. And you can kind of see the train, the trolley tracks that run down the length of the street, which is really remarkable. And here we see one of, I believe this is Nathan Brill's build with the corner.
Yes. Yeah, so the 13th and Walnut building. So
lots of stacked dark red plate. Really every building on this layout, this Penlug layout, is absolutely remarkable. And here we see a feat of Lego engineering. This is when you have a trolley track, the problem with a trolley track is that it needs to turn a corner at some point. And when a trolley track is inside of a street, you kind of need to figure out how to make that corner happen. So here we see really crazy techniques with lots of plates at crazy angles. So we're going to kind of jump around here.
Got some of the larger buildings of the Penlug layout here.
And hard at work putting some minifigures together there.
Some really cool building. And look at the nice bright colors there, the yellow, the purple
And colors. This looks like a counterpart over here to the mobile station we saw earlier. This is a Gulf layout, or a Gulf gas station.
Some tough competition in town with the different gas stations.
They're all competing. And then this is the Brick Journal store on the back side of this pier. See, that's one of, I believe, Joe Mino's builds, but he's kind of loaned it out to Penlug for the time being. So full interior on that. Beach scene, big beach scene.
And you've got the Hereford Inlet Lighthouse, is that right there? The Wildwood, New Jersey. I'm assuming that's based on the real lighthouse. So
I'm sure, and you got me on that pronunciation, though.
Coming along here, we
have a wonderful little radio station with an antenna, and see, take a moment to zoom in on that blinking light there. We've got a blinking light on the top.
The very top of
that is a blinking light. That is a real life blinking light. That is fantastic. And the build itself, it's like a kind of an Art Deco sort of radio station, but for some reason it's located on this kind of swampy inlet, which is a really cool kind of scene or scenario to kind of give the build. But you know, overall, just really neat.
For sure. Moving along here, we got some more of Penlug's display. You've got kind of a loop of track along here, so it actually goes in a circle all the way around.
So it looks like they've done that instead of having to build a bridge or something difficult like that.
Nice little construction scene. Now, unlike some layouts you see, I don't think they did this because they forgot to bring a building. I think that was on purpose there. So, coming along here, we got some more Penlug. And then
lots of Penlug stuff. Very nice landscaping here, kind of like that windmill scene we saw earlier. Just lots of attention to really making that landscape shine. And that kind of brings us back to where we started here on the Penlug layout.
Yes.
So that is a wrap of what we have here on the Penlug layout. And we're going to kind of jump around, show you some other stuff. So I think we have, I guess, another town layout up here that we can kind of walk around.
Town layout with some interesting buildings throughout it. So we'll just start right here at this corner. This is right here. Actually, you start with this BrickFair truck, and it has crates on it from every year of BrickFair.
It looks like every year almost. Maybe yeah.
I think
every year BrickFair releases a train car, or this is like the standard Lego train like I guess what would you call it, box car?
Sure.
So this was like kind of an agreed upon standard that we were going to build to. So for a while, train clubs used to kind of trade a box car. So they would make a box car in the train club, and another state would make a box car. And when you come to a convention or train show, you would all sort of trade those box cars. So BrickFair has been producing those that standard box car, and usually it's light belay on top and bottom, and they put their logo on it. Very cool.
So you see some military stuff mixed in with the VFW post 7369 right there. So you got some cool stickers and decals on the outside of that, along with some cool military models mixed in. Here's the drive-in theater. This seems like you always see a couple of these on different town layouts at each convention. The Mike's Automax sale going on there. Bowling alley, so you've got a lot of your typical buildings you'll have in many cities, right next to the Starbucks and a Krispy Kreme. All very familiar buildings. Toy store. Drugstore, the Armed Forces Recruiting Center. So you've got some cool decals on the outside of that there. Man the guns, you got join the Navy, Army, and the Marines. All very well done builds. Pizzeria, hibachi grill, then the art museum here as well. And if you look on the ceiling of the art museum there, some cool techniques with the way they did the black rounded bricks to make that roof add some texture to it. Got the monorail along here. Always cool to see a little monorail track going. Carousel. And then here's a TV that I am assuming will play something related to this build. Okay.
It plays the Lego movie.
It plays the Lego movie. So here's the Dulles Expo Center is where this BrickFair Virginia is held every year, and I believe there's occasional gun shows that take place at this Expo Center, which is why the builder chose this.
Every Expo Center in the United States ever has a gun show every weekend, right? So the Dulles Expo Center is no different. It hosts its fair share of gun shows. So here we go. This is the Dulles Expo hosting a gun show in Lego form.
So everyone has their obligatory weapons, usually one in each hand for the minifigs.
Let's hope no one gets accidentally shot, right?
I think that it looks like somebody's doing some really good business at this gun show. Along here we've got Memorial Day mosaic, and this is definitely a different kind of mosaic. You don't see a lot like this. See kind of the different soldiers throughout the years there. And moving along, just about finished up this display. We'll come down here and hit all along the this is the pop culture side of it. So starting down here we get some, I believe, Star Wars stuff. A lot of these builders are still hard at work, even though it's like 1:30 a.m. here at BrickFair.
Just getting started.
Yes, this is when you hit the brick the hardest here.
I mean, we got a lot done. More of the battlefield and stuff like that. But
so
finished the other half of the base.
Some more great Star Wars
The build
builds.
is the build. That's the story.
CAC sponsoring us too.
Okay.
Awesome, so. Finished product will be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Have it ready for the public days. So some more Star Wars all along here. Pop culture. Great big Battle of Hoth layout. Couple of interesting buildings here. This build, again, still being worked on. Builders still hard at work here.
Oh, yeah, I really am. I'll get a full interview later.
Yes, so some very cool start. Yes, you've got a Les Mis build done in the back there. Okay, it turns, and I believe it has lights in it that was going during World of Lights. So
I got lazy though.
And then
It turns, but we won't.
continuing on down here, we got some great Star Wars. And some custom minifigs.
And this is a Lego video games build by Shiloh Parker, so lots of wonderful figures. So he says, the display has two sides. You may spin the case. See both sides. Please be careful.
Now, I think Matthew might be abusing it a little bit, so I think we should probably stop that and keep on moving.
Okay, all right.
Okay, we'll keep on moving. This is actually a couple of Piano Guys builds. So they became famous on YouTube for their excellent piano and cello work. So a couple of recreations of some of the locations that they've shot in there. You can see the piano right there, cello over there, and some really great stuff. And then they built the Piano Guys out of Lego. Coming along here, a little more Piano Guys builds. This is a different location, on some train tracks. Then we've got some Doctor Who over here. Like I mentioned, Doctor Who is ubiquitous at many of these conventions. You see it everywhere. So inside of the TARDIS interior with Matt Smith. Then all sorts, the Dalek victory there. Some more Star Wars layouts here. Custom minifigs by, I believe, MGF Customs. Awesome customizer there. Does some really good stuff. You zoom in on the Groot minifig there from Guardians of the Galaxy. That's just an awesome, really well done minifig. Very cool minifigs there.
This, my friends, is the Battle of Sigma Artanis IV, which is a really serious title. And I'm sure there's a lot going on here that we are unaware of, but we're just going to show you kind of what we see, which is all we can do. And really you have some wonderful scenery, and then in the background some really well executed white and gray, and then it looks like there's a little bit of black buildings with just wonderful little vehicles kind of scattered around. It just looks like a wonderful well thought out scene, and this appears to be a collaborative with lots of different different I guess you could say contributors.
Yeah, many different contributors.
You get a kind of a look at it. It looks like they've taken the time to draw up a wonderful graphic that kind of states who has contributed to it and who it's sponsored by. So it looks like they're sponsored by Brick Arms, Eclipse Graphics, and X39 Brick Customs. So wow, pretty legit, right?
Really great build there. So it's cool to see all those interesting architectural buildings. Next, we're going to bring you down here to another large display with a whole series of different buildings. We're going to start with what I believe is the Texas State Capitol.
This is the capital of North Carolina.
Actually, okay, I was wrong. This is the North Carolina Capitol.
So this is built by John Turner, and it's a really well executed build. Lots of wonderful plate, it's used to create the roof technique. So instead of just kind of throwing a bunch of roof slopes down, he's been able to kind of get a more accurate roof angle using the plate like that. And overall, just a wonderful build. It's nice that he was able to use this kind of to give a finite edge to the base, and really render the indentations of the facade so well.
So yes, as a native, have you seen this building many times, I'm assuming?
I am from Raleigh, North Carolina, and yes, I do pass by the North Carolina State Capitol on more than one occasion, many times more than once a week. So yes, very familiar. It does look nothing like this Texas State Capitol, though.
Okay,
so I can understand.
I was completely wrong
and
there.
This is the UNC Old Well, also built by John Turner, which is another wonderful build. So this is obviously, John is a North Carolina native, and I believe I am very well acquainted with John. Very competent builder. Lots of wonderful techniques that he incorporates into his builds. And here we have a very nice little layout with lots of trees on it. Very nice. And then this is a lighthouse.
This here, if you want to take a minute to just really soak in the incredible build here, you've got this massive lighthouse. I don't even know, what is that, maybe 5-6 feet tall right there?
Very tall.
And
very tall lighthouse.
There's a working light on top of it. Then you've got this great beach scene, sloping techniques going down to the water here. Some more parts dumping. Now here is another different parts dumping technique. These are the diamond pieces here, so not the 1x1 studs here either.
So these two, this is 1x1 studs, and then these are diamonds, but this has been widely available on pick-and-brick walls, I believe. So once again, if you can get a mass quantity of a part, why not dump it out and do something crazy with it? He obviously has.
No, I think, is that the Imperial flagship, or is that a custom ship right there?
I am unqualified to speak on that.
We'll leave that a question for now, and then you've got 3 massive wind turbines here at the end as well. These are great builds. These move. They have engines in them, so these actually move as well. Coming along here, we've got large trains, so all sorts of... This is nominated for Best Train Engine right here, Union Pacific.
Really well executed train cars, and they're all by Christopher Jenkins from Shreveport, Louisiana.
So some more trains all along here.
This is teal, right, Josh? That's a very not so common Lego color, I guess you could say, to put it lightly. So really cool to see it rendered out, a box or whatever that car is in Lego. Kind of crazy.
So keep coming around here, and we've got some kind of different colorful builds with pink and a lot of bright colors like that.
And it looks like someone has taken the time to take a carousel and then build the carousel using rarer parts that are a lot more expensive than the parts that actually did come in the carousel, and kind of do a very nice job putting lots of rare parts together on what is a set design. So very nice, well thought out build with lots of rare parts. So very nice build with lots of rare parts.
Excellent beach design there as well.
Nice.
Coming along here, some smaller build. This is kind of almost, I guess, maybe a factory. You've got some large canisters there, and then police station. A little bit of a Rainbow Warrior build. and then a really cool train layout here as well. Now along here, we don't want to miss this here. This is one of the coolest builds here at BrickFair.
Big old trebuchet.
Don't let all the different colors scare you away. This is a massive trebuchet. This can throw a couple of Lego wheels 37 feet. So it actually works. Cranks down using Next motors, and you can throw it 37 feet. So really incredible build here. And coming back along here, we've got some more mixed builds. This is some of the brick bending techniques here. This is Zachary Reynolds built these, so it doesn't actually damage the bricks, but you can bend them if you put enough together in a certain way and make really cool patterns with them, almost art-like. This is kind of some rundown buildings, stuff like that. Really cool stuff.
Definitely, and so they've taken the time to kind of render out the interior of what appears to be a whole house. So very, very awesome. It's amazing that they're able to do so much with it, you know? So here we go. We have some more wonderful little creations. This looks to be something from the Friends team, which is very nice. And here we have a lovely Star Wars build. And these are obviously from the younger builders here. This is from Jack Gallardo, age 13. So, you know, they don't have the budget of an adult, and they're not at the adult level of quality, but they're getting there. It's nice that they show up to these events to see what they can do in the future. And some really, really amazing classic cars. So now that we've seen all of this row, we're going to run down and we're going to show you a bunch of other cool stuff. So we've already shown a lot so far, and I believe we're going to do the Great Ball Contraption right now. But we're just going to do a quick run around because it's not in motion right now. So just very, very quickly, we're just going to run around, get an idea of what we can see here. So lots of amazing, amazing stuff. And it really is something that can't very well be appreciated without, the advent of the electric motor and the electric motors being on. So we will wait till tomorrow or at a later date when everything is on and running.
And we will be bringing you a more in-depth video of this when it's running, so you can keep an eye out for that.
And this, my friends, can be appreciated without the motors being on. This is a 16-foot bridge that carries balls across gigantic rifts. So if we could apply this engineering prowess to world problems that are really pressing, unlike moving balls around a Lego layout, we probably could solve a lot of things like world hunger, build a bridge across the Bering Strait finally. But alas, this is all we can seem to do, and this is absolutely remarkable.
This really is truly incredible build here. You look at
and I believe the builder flew it from California, right?
Yes,
Thomas Mueller.
Yeah, I believe he fit it in like 2 suitcases, so that's even more incredible.
All right, but now we have a general idea of what the Great Ball Contraption layout looks like, and that's all that matters. We're going to jump over and show you a gigantic ship, and gigantic might be a slight understatement.
Oh, yeah. This is from Dan of Brickmania, and this is I believe the USS Nicholas here, and a really great build. This is one of his newest builds he had brought to Brickmania here. So much detail. If you've seen his landing ship tank before, we've made some videos of that. Really good ship builder. All the different guns he has on it. He's got very accurate minifigs and really cool details there. Coming back along here, we've got there's a lot of military builds here at BrickFair, so we will be showing you a couple different areas of military builds. Start right here with what is, I believe, a diagram of what it would look like if the Russians were attacking Alaska, is I believe what this is. So you got the big gray buildings there built into the mountainside, Maersk train going along there, you got helicopters crashing in flame, all sorts of cool details as the battle rages on. And this would be the Alaska frontier there. Here you've got what's a really well done plane. So this is the AC-130H Spectre gunship, and really cool detail in the way he used all the round slopes
Is it for sale? I think it might be.
Yes, I think they're having a sale on the plane, so if you're interested in buying it, a little for sale tile there.
And we really haven't provided maybe too many critiques, and we're not going to try and criticize every creation. But the one thing about doing these kind of stock techniques is that it takes so much effort to really render it out properly that sometimes, I'm not sure what the plane looks like in real life, but I will say that it is incredibly difficult to execute those curvatures so very well, and only maybe a handful of builders in the world are able to do so. So this plane is obviously an amazing creation, but maybe perhaps it could have been a little bit better rendered on these curves. But that is incredibly nitpicky and maybe a little bit in poor taste. But overall, just a wonderful, wonderful build. And the fact that they're able to do something so big with such a well-done execution, I don't know. You really just can't say enough superlatives about it. But overall, this problem with these builds, you know, you try so hard, but sometimes it's incredibly difficult to really get those curves.
Oh yeah, for sure. So it's among all the awesome stuff, there are occasional details that could maybe be improved on later. Here's some micro. There's an interesting micro battle at sea aerial attack. They're little tiny micro. I think that's an aircraft carrier. Something you don't see very often, especially that small of a scale. That's a really interesting build there. A few other micro military builds there as well. Then here's Beach Landing at D-Day. Obviously been built so many times with Lego in all different versions. Smaller build there of it, but still very cool. Here's some more World War II. You'll notice most of these are World War II builds all around here. So I think they even have some custom sandbags there that aren't official Lego parts. Then here, some of these are still being worked on. You'll notice all different planes and trucks, helicopters, some nice landscaping. There's all military vehicles, and there's a lot of these here as well. There's been tanks, half-tracks, whatever, trucks, motorcycles, whatever you can think of, they can build it. So much awesome military stuff here. Here's another World War II diorama, the Gothic line. So kind of some Gothic style buildings. Some more military vehicles here, tanks, like I mentioned earlier. It's a really cool German artillery, the self-propelled siege mortar here. Really interesting build with the way they move the weapons it fires and everything. Coming along here, we got some more Star Wars stuff. So some cool creations all around there. And finishing us out at this display is this large bridge, and this is kind of cool. It's kind of a cut-off diorama, but you can see the bridge section there, which is really nice, futuristic kind of robot mecha sort of build. Interesting colors there. And then we'll move on to another military display right over here. Starting off with this village, which is nominated for Best Historical. I believe this is the battle in France shortly after the D-Day landings. So this is done really well. It's got even some engraved bricks saying the names of the buildings. One of those buildings there was actually in the charity auction, and so much great landscaping here with the plates, and then the really well done village buildings as well. And all along here, some smaller little military vehicles. Attack on a French town, so a lot of French World War II town builds as well. Then the Jeff Churrill, who does a lot of really cool mecha, has the gunship there. Interesting display. If you saw our Brick World coverage, you saw some of these builds in there. Got Stealth Blackhawk. Some more builds moving all along here.
So the one thing we have to say, kind of when we offered that criticism earlier, is that, you know, not every builder here is building with an amazing budget, and they're not all 30 years old, and they're not played with Lego for 20 years, so not everybody can build, you know, an amazing creation with lots of great parts like what we're looking at now. So sometimes, yes, it is multicolored.
Yeah, so sometimes if you see some of those more rainbow-colored builds, you know, that might be builders just starting out, they're younger, like you said, not a very big budget at all, and that's the best they can do, but still some cool techniques they can use in there.
And this is a wonderful build by Jacob. I guess he goes by Forrest Feller online, right? right? And that last name, I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce it, but this is a wonderful aircraft carrier, kind of a futuristic aircraft carrier with just wonderfully rendered little tiny ships, lots of little cheese slopes doing amazing things. Just really an exquisite build.
And if you look in the back left corner here, a bunch of very well detailed, very realistic looking military builds by Joshua Brooks, part of the Brooks family that I mentioned earlier when we were looking at the historical builds. So some more military builds from them as well. And along here we see some planes, some more futuristic mecha kind of builds. And then here's actually a landing, kind of almost like an airship kind of floats going along.
And now massive really is an entire understatement for this build. This thing goes on forever, and the terrain is exquisitely rendered. You know, you have rivers, valleys, all kinds of accoutrements for a battle. And, railroad track also, very nice. And here we get over to some of Magnus, how do you say that last name, Josh?
I think Loglo?
Loglo, we're really bad at names.
I apologize to people if we mess up your name.
But some of his wonderful military builds on the Magnus's part. And here's a beautiful, beautiful airship with turboprops, wonderfully rendered turboprops, I might add. And I believe that was built by a gentleman in Germany, and I think he flew it over here, which is really remarkable that he was able to transport something with such a long distance, put an airplane in an airplane. That's asking a lot of those baggage handlers. And remember, if you put fragile on it, they're just going to chuck it across the tarmac.
That makes them treat it even worse.
Definitely. And here we have another wonderful military build, another wonderful military layout. Lots and lots of grass in this build, I noticed.
The Battle of Crete here, yeah, and if you look at the grass pieces, they're so close together there. That's a very time-intensive technique.
It's easy to kind of stagger them every other in alternating rows, but this is every freaking stud covered with grass, which is insane. So crazy that they're able to do that.
For sure. Some more military vehicles all along here.
And some lovely fighter jet here on the end. And this is all beautifully rendered with wedge plates and all kinds of great stuff. And it's definitely a lot studdier than some of the fighter jets you see. I really kind of appreciate the fact that they're able to kind of show the studs and not be ashamed of the studs, because the studs make it look like Lego, which really isn't the worst thing ever. You know, you see all these fighter jets nowadays, and they're so beautifully well rendered, and they don't even look like Lego sometimes.
And point out the interesting technique there for the dust around the helicopter. That you've got the bushes, or kind of the dust coming out as the helicopter takes off or lands.
Definitely, it looks like definitely like the road. It's just touched down, and it's big dust cloud. That's the sound effect for a dust cloud. So, very cool.
Some more beautiful tanks as well, and then we're back where we started here. So then we'll come up here and take you along. You can get a different view of this French village here.
And you can really see, just appreciate the scale of that build from this angle. It is absolutely remarkable. And what was auctioned off earlier, right? Yeah?
Yes, that double, the red roof building there was actually auctioned
by
off.
Joe Mezzarandino, I believe.
Yes.
A contribution to this collaborative display.
Very well done buildings there. So I think that went upwards to the about $500-600 range, somewhere around there.
An insane price, but certainly nothing unwarranted, because this is really a remarkable build.
For sure. Very nice.
So, we were doing the tour last night, and it got kind of late, 2 in the morning late, and the convention center kind of closes at 2 in the morning, so the lights sort of went off, and they kind of kicked us out. So we're back again, now it's Saturday, and we're going to finish this tour for you.
For sure. We didn't want to leave you hanging, so we've got the rest of the convention floor.
Let's get started again now.
So coming along here, we've got some more military stuff. Some larger builds, collaborations, and things like that.
Lots of part stumping going on here again.
Really great stuff. You can see some of the builders there. Some of the builders around their creations here.
You made it?
The nominated for Best Military Diorama here. Some more military stuff. Lots of interesting buildings.
Wonderful snot techniques over on a lot of the buildings here. Yeah, some just parts going all different kinds of directions. Lots of very interesting details. Very, very cool. And we're going to keep moving along here. We got another military diorama layout. A little bit of a train track scene here. Some farming going on. It looks like there's some nice tanks. Very, very cool.
The farming scene there mixed in with the military scene is interesting technique.
And now Joshua usually just hides behind his bookshelf and records Google Plus interviews with famous builders, but sometimes he actually builds stuff, right, Josh?
That's true. So what you're looking at here is a World War I trench battle that I made. So.
It doesn't have any mega blocks in it, we promise. All right, and on to the next thing, right?
Yes, on to the next one. Here's kind of a interesting, almost like a Berlin Wall look to this build right here with the different walls separating stuff out.
It's like an urban sort of fighting scene. We have some tunneling going on here. Really, really cool build. And not something typical for what we see here. And we have some other little dioramas here. Stuff on, I guess, the big gray base plates, a little fighting scene.
Yeah.
Very nice. Lots of minifigures. Nice little sand green tank there. All right, moving on. We have a little plane kind of sitting by the column here. And we're going to keep moving more military builds. It looks like the tablecloth has been flipped over, covered up, so sorry about that.
Check out the landing ship right there. That's a really cool build. Some awesome detail on that landing ship right there.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Very, very cool. And this is pretty much it for the military stuff. We have a couple more stuff.
The technique here, though, is they kind of cut the ship in half to just show the front, which really provides, you can kind of get a closer look at it versus the whole giant ship.
Definitely. It just kind of emphasizes the front of the ship over everything else.
Uh-huh.
A lovely little military build here on 2 base plates. A little road fighting scene. Very, very cool.
The final military dioramas here in the military section. So you've got almost, is that like a blown up mosque there? With
this is something with like an onion dome sort of. Yeah. The Battle of Stalingrad. So yeah, definitely an onion dome. Some sort of Russian, looks like some kind of Russian church. But definitely a winter battle scene, which is a little bit unusual. Not too much of that here at this year's BrickFair. I know in years past there's been a lot of winter military builds. But overall, very, very cool build. Lots and lots of military here at BrickFair. There definitely is a very big military presence. And now we're going to jump on over to what I believe this is. This kind of like sculptural builds. This is like mixed sculpture. So lots of very cool stuff in here. Here's a little bit of a bigger Lego Movie logo.
For sure, yeah. So you can see the bigger Lego Movie logo, and then Benny from the Lego Movie there as well. Some awesome creations all along here. Some smaller stuff, some Lego Movie, the super secret police. Back here is the super secret police precinct where they train. This is kind of the training room, so interpreting what it might look like in the Lego Movie in the police training room with the Wanted Emmett poster there.
Some wonderful, wonderful builds here. And then we're going to keep moving on down. See some lovely... This is like creatures,
Yes. This is incredible builds here. If you look at the detail, the parts usage in these is so awesome.
We have like Lego system elements, like, horns and different stuff like that, click hinges, and we also have some really, really intricate usage of Bionicle pieces. Just amazing, amazing build on so many levels. Crazy stuff here.
And then Mushu from Mulan. If you're familiar with the Mulan movie, there's a funny little Mushu build there. We got iPad Mini.
And then this is a lovely build in the corner here by Scott Barnick. It's just, I guess it's a Dylan Buckler. I'm unaware of the source material here, but just from a sculptural standpoint, it's a very, very well put together face.
The builder says it's a spooky doll head, so we'll take that as what he's recreating there. But it is an excellent build.
Yes, and here we have a bonsai tree. This is by Dan Larson.
That's
a wonderful recreation of that Japanese bonsai. And he also hasn't taken the time to include a base, so it has all kinds of little intricate details, kind of what's typical for a Japanese bonsai tree. The base. You have both the tree and the base. Both are important to the overall aesthetic appeal.
Very nice, instantly recognizable what that creation is. Coming along down here, some more sculpture type builds. Got some state builds there. The great Legend of Zelda. They have it the Lego of Zelda here. The couple characters. So really cool builds there. Some larger minifig style builds. Then some
shoes.
Yes, you need some Lego shoes, or you got to wear something in the Lego convention.
This shoe has been featured in a German magazine, I guess that is.
It looks like it, so I can't really read any of the words, but we're gonna. Our German is a bit rusty, but I believe that's what it is.
Here
so
is Kevin Hinkle,
yes,
legs splayed and all. He is there waiting to hear about your complaints about 9-volt and monorail.
There have been many builders just stand here and talk to him, even though there's not a lot of conversation back and forth.
Here, the closest you can get is having a little maxi-fig version of Kevin.
Some micro builds here, some really great micro builds. Actually, I love that
castle on an open book.
Yeah,
right?
The Cinderella castle in the back there with an open book is a really, really nice little build. Some kind of classic space-looking lava builds. Little ship there. Here's a village build. This is some really nice snot techniques going on here. Keep a real smooth look to the build. And then behind it we have some smaller World Trade Center builds. You always see a few of those at conventions.
The Lancaster County Day School. So a really, really nice build. You got to get in close to see all these crazy roof angles. So this is a model of a real life building, and obviously the builder has taken a lot of attention to time and to a lot of details here, just rendered out really, really beautifully in the brick. But obviously a very complex build, and it's nice that the builder's taken the time to add context to the build by providing a landscape in which it sits in. So really, really stellar work here.
For sure. And he's got photos of the real thing and everything here, so you can see exactly what it's recreating. It's nominated for Best Micro Build, actually.
And then moving on down here, we have, this is the Dulles Terminal, designed by Denise Didot, and I believe she is a local resident, so this is the Washington, D.C.'s like big international airport. And I believe this terminal was designed by Eurosarian a couple years back, and, you know, that might be incorrect, but I haven't read that Wikipedia article in a long, long time. But either way, a very, very nice build by Denise.
Definitely. You've got the Parthenon there, and then Microtown. This is interesting. This build's called Springtime, and you've got tons of flowers surrounding the kind of almost like a crashed spaceship look. Might have some people living in it. It's abandoned right now. You can kind of interpret that build in a few different ways. All along here for a couple tables, we've got Micro City, so all sorts of incredible buildings, really cool parts usages here. You can see micro houses, skyscrapers. There's a great micro church right there. They've got the interstate, you know, all layers of roads going on, tiny micro cars, everything you can need in a big bustling city. And then so many great buildings like this one here with the gray and then the trans blue bricks, different layering like that. And then coming over here, these three or four buildings right here really need some of my favorites as well. The way they stack and the alternating layers on those, really, really cool stuff. So this is built by a few different builders like Matthew Gibson, Casey Ross. So shout out to some of those builders that worked on that. This one moves here, as you can see, built by Adam Quest. Space going around, and it's almost like a carnival ride. You can see the line there and everything to get in. Really cool build. This is the Atlantis spaceship here, built on a really nice landing pad with just a little bit of landscaping around it, so adds some real body to the build. In the back, you've got the USS Avenger. This stuff was all built by Joshua Brooks. Really cool creations here. Down here we've got the Red Comet, built by Dean Quest. Really huge. It's probably about a foot, 2 feet high. Nominated for Best Mecha. Awesome detailing on that. The weapons, the way he did the legs and the body armor on it, almost like a samurai look on that build.
Very interesting that he was able to use so much basic brick to render out such a sculptural creation, something so organic, you know? Mm-hmm. Or not organic because it's a mecha, but still, you know what I mean?
There's not a lot of, like these specialty Technic pieces in there or anything. Yeah, like you said, a fair amount of basic stuff. It's really nice. Coming along here, we've got the Intergalactic Outpost. So you got offices, greenhouse, you know, bays and pods for the spaceships and things, fixing them, anything you could need in an intergalactic outpost. Some smaller ships along here. That seems like a mashup of a few different just space pieces and
lots
things.
of just generally big pieces. So interesting choice of parts.
Here's
Friends hangar.
Yes,
right?
Friends hangar.
It's got some Vic Vipers here, right?
Wow, that's really great. So some awesome detailing on there. Really smooth looking.
This is like a Paradisia palm tree. You know, you kind of see that. Some Hookett's parts. So definitely, this is like girly space, right?
Not your typical space colors. For sure.
Pretty sweet.
But then if you go up, you have the Napalm, which is a little more space looking, little angrier looking build of fire all around it. These were built by Dean Quest as well. So, and then we've got another hangar here with more Blacktron colors. So that's the yellow and black of the Blacktron theme. Really cool space builds here.
Lots of 8x16 tiles, which is nice to see. So, you know, it's a great way to sort of get a lot of surface area for, you know, little parts. So big bang for your buck right there. And then moving on down, we see some more spaceships, all kinds of spaceships. And if we took time to describe each one in detail, we would be here till, you know, 2 in the morning again, which would not be good. So we're going to keep moving down, and we see a little bit of a winter diorama. It looks like a spaceship has crashed, and they're sort of fighting, kind of dueling.
The crashed spaceship there is a nice technique. I think it adds some body to the build that wouldn't be there if you just laid it there, kind of going in one direction.
And this is the Glacial Invasion collaboration, which is kind of a tongue twister. Very nice. And here we have the Cyberpunk City collab. So this is kind of like maybe a smaller version, or using the same idea as Brola Cyber City, but you know, a little bit more human scale. You know, not too crazy there. but very nice nonetheless, and some lovely part stuffing going on here. Lots of those crystals, which are widely available on Pick-a-Brick walls.
Yes.
This is called the year 3014. So, is this what the world's going to look like, and what would that be, Josh?
I think that's what 1,000 years. So I think you're going to be right about this. So you've got a marooned pirate there on the rock.
Let's just hope that there's a lot more of those Lego crystals available in 2014.
Yes. Along here we've got Benny's UCS Galaxy Explorer, which is Simon Liu's massive space builds here.
And UCS is the Ultimate Collector series, I'm pretty sure. So this is like the Ultimate Collector series of the UCS Galaxy Explorer. So very nice tie-in of both the Lego Movie and classic space sets. So good stuff all around. Nice to use those maxi figs in such an interesting way.
For sure.
Very, very cool. Some lovely olive green spaceships right here.
Yeah, olive green by Simon Liu as well. Here.
Definitely.
Very well done builds. Great detail he does with those, landscaping and everything.
And really beautiful curves on all of these spaceships. They're very well articulated, kind of intricate detailing going on. You really can't say enough positive stuff about all of this. And even though it's not as big as, say, a massive castle, there is just as much effort and work put into all of these small builds. It's one thing it's really important to realize at these conventions, that even so the big stuff gets a lot of the attention, these small builds, this is really where the fun is.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, you can see some of these sculptures and stuff aren't even that huge, but just looking at the detail in them and stuff, and we're starting here on a massive layout of Bionicle builds.
So this is one of the most heavily, trafficked conventions by Bionicle fans, really anywhere almost.
Oh, yeah.
I think you can kind of say. So BZ Power, which is all the Bionicle guys, and Bionalug, and all of their other associations, they all kind of show up here, and they really, really go all out with the display. So this is definitely a big Bionicle presence here.
Take a second to admire these here. These are leeches, so I think like the leech 1 and 2 here, and the way they did this with the teeth in the front, and then using the Bionicle pieces to kind of make the long tail.
It really looks menacing, doesn't it? And something so organic, very well articulated, just kind of flows, It doesn't even look like Lego, right? There's the phrase.
For sure. And then you've got so many beautiful Bionicle creations along here. You don't see a lot online with Bionicle, but very cool stuff here.
So moving on down, we see this is a little mosaic, and this is the Bionalug, logo, or what you might call it, but very nice that they're kind of representing like that.
I love this Sentinel right here as well, with the tentacles going all over the place.
Awesome stuff.
Based on the Matrix Sentinels, so I like this here. They created kind of a mosaic background for these tree houses and some of the more green-themed Bionicle builds here.
So it kind of gives you, sort of makes it look like, the builds have some context. It's not just a figure sitting on a white tablecloth. There's like a background, and there's a tree that's made out of system parts, so it's all kind of one big scene. Very cool that they did that. I think it'd
be really cool if more builders did that, where they created kind of a sky background scene for more of the...
Takes it up a notch, takes it up a notch. And here's a little BZ Power logo rendered out there in the letters. Very cool.
You can see the big Bionicle. They've even got artwork around their Bionicle sign and everything. So
definitely representing out here, Bionicle.
BZ Power 2014 shirt on the wall there, taped to the wall. So this is the convention to come to if you're Bionicle. If
you love Bionicle, you'll love Brick World. That's or BrickFair. God, we get them all mixed up, Josh.
So yeah. Moving along here, though.
Lots of great creations here at BrickFair.
More awesome Bionicle all along here.
The BZ Power guest book right here. So BrickFair 2014 Washington DC. It looks like we got put your BZ Power name down, then your first name and your last name, just kind of a little location actually. See where you're from. Kind of register some BZ Power members there, maybe. I don't know. Keep the record of the fans
out here.
Very cool.
Now, this purple Bionicle is interesting. You can see they almost use the tires or wheels there from, I don't know if those are Bionicle parts or from
just like Technic wheels, yeah. Very cool, though.
And different type of build. Some more great stuff all along here.
Definitely. Is that a Galador figure? I think that might be a Galador figure.
There? Yes,
Look over here. Look over here. Look over here. It looks like it's been decapitated or something. Or no, it's not been decapitated. Maybe incapacitated.
Yes,
who knows?
I think that might be
very cool.
Some more beautiful Bionicle creations.
Lots of amazing stuff.
Some of the builders behind their work right there. So still maybe finishing setup a little bit, or just watching over the creations, making sure nothing breaks or anything like that.
Awesome, awesome build.
Some bigger stuff along here. Some really cool. These are larger than some of the Bionicle builds we've seen earlier. This one here is nominated for Best Bionicle right here. So the hair on these is really interesting to look at. The tentacles and everything that's used to create that sculpture techniques.
You think that they're like siblings, Josh? What are they? The three of them, right?
It's actually all Dean Quest that built all these. So we mentioned earlier.
Figures, right?
Uh-huh. And then some more Bionicle all along here. There's a really large Bionicle figure in the back there, using all sorts of pieces. Little layout here. Few interesting winged Bionicle creatures. And this is called Seekers and Raiders Wave 2 Frozen Evil. So you get the white covering, frozen look to it, snow look. Coming all along here to...
Look at this.
Yes.
This parrot is really remarkable. I have a soft spot. Bionicle is fantastic to build, all kinds of different mechs and figures and all, weird spacey stuff. I'm not sure what the exact terminology would be, but I really love it when Bionicle parts are kind of applied to such a non-traditional use. So you're kind of using Bionicle parts, different kinds of Lego Technic pieces, all the weird stuff, to kind of create something that's really just kind of out of the box, just in the normal, something from the wild. That's really, really remarkable.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And finishing up Bionicle here, there's a thing with a bunch of the Bionicle masks on it. So, really awesome that a lot of the builders collect the masks as well as the figures.
It looks like we have some Bishop Don Magic 1 figures here. This is, famous notorious Chicago pimp, right? You got the pimp cape, you got the pimp cane, all kinds of pimp stuff. We might have the Lego Leafy Leaf right there. And we got some Cash out here on the table. He's listening to some tunes, jamming, smoking a stogie, got a stogie hanging out of his mouth, got the leopard print, cufflinks and all that kind of cool stuff.
That is not your typical Bionicle style build, but yeah, that certainly looks like he is. Then finishing up here, we've got a cool ship in the background there, using some larger Bionicle sword and blade pieces. They created a really nice looking ship with some of the pod pieces there as well. And then a few more figures there. And I think that finishes out Bionicle for us. Some awesome builds all along there.
We are done with Bionicle.
Now, we've got a few train layouts for you here. I believe this is the WAMA LTC, which is, where are they from?
Washington area metropolitan,
Okay.
something, Lego Train Club, something. Very, very cool. So they are the DC area lug. And
so they're real local to this convention, so they've got a large presence here.
Definitely. And these are some lovely skyscrapers by, I believe, Kevin Locke. These big towers here. And if you take a moment to look at this tower here, the black with the trans black glass, trans brown glass, he's taken the panes out of a normal window, and he's kind of slotted them inside the building. So it's like the glass panes are just they're held in place, but it's actually like a real skyscraper, because it has a curtain wall of glass, and then the actual structure is on the four corners. So the windows are not serving a structural purpose. They're just kind of there. So a very, very cool idea for a skyscraper. Kind of awesome to sort of apply that to something in Lego. And I've never seen him build it, so I'm not sure how it kind of comes apart, but one could only imagine that he might be able to actually assemble it all here while he's at the convention. So really, really nice, innovative skyscrapers. And they're big, but they're not really big just to be big. They're just they're sort of innovative in of themselves.
Using cool techniques as well, even in a big build. Plus, it's on top of an Apple store right there, so
definitely.
That's really awesome as well.
So moving on down here, we have some more skyscrapers, and we're kind of getting into more of the city section. It looks like there's a little bit of a climate here going on. We got the fire trucks out. Maybe the Simpsons house is burning down. Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, that's like what it looks like. Simpsons might be in trouble there. Let's hope nothing bad happens there.
Tisk.
Is that now? What did they use for the hose there? That's an interesting. I don't.
Those
know.
look like shoelaces.
That's what I was going to say.
Nice, very nice.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Someone likes their fire trucks here. That is awesome. And then moving on down, we have some other lovely city buildings. We have a little bit of looks like a VW Lego Man car dealership, so that's kind of nice.
Car dealerships are popular builds, like gas stations, car dealerships, that kind of thing on these train layouts.
Awesome
you see a lot
stuff.
of those.
And we have a little bit of an Octen warehouse, and that's in sand green, so not the cheapest or the most widely available color, so pretty cool that they were able to build such a large building in that color, right?
For sure. So you see some rare colors like that here. There's a interesting. I believe that build back there was in the charity auction, right?
Yes,
and
it was. And is that one by Joe Miserandino or what?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe it is. A World War II factory is what that is. So very cool build there.
And now, kind of moving over on, we have a lovely, lovely tree. This is just really at a fantastic scale, very, very well rendered out. And then to the right of that, a lovely waterfall, and I believe this is by Lori Roll.
Yes, Lori Roll.
Stuart Roll's wife. Very, very nice build. And I believe Stuart told us that this was his wife's first real build. Is that what we heard?
Yeah. She's done a couple small ones before this, but this is her first real big build she's done. So great job there, and it's actually nominated for best train/town building.
That is awesome. So good for you, Lori. Yeah. Keep showing up to here, doing some amazing stuff. That is awesome. And really, really great waterfall technique. That is particularly amazing. It really does look like that water is kind of cascading down. You've really added a lot of movement to it. So awesome, awesome stuff. And then moving on, we see some monorail track kind of surrounding a little bit of a carnival scene here. So we have all the accoutrements of a carnival. You got your stockade kind of petting zoo area and all the rides you could ever want. There's the Ferris wheel set from the Crater Line a couple years ago. And then I guess that kind of wraps up that area, and we get a little bit of a column here. Oops.
Get around the column.
And then getting back to the layout. Get back to the layout. We have a little roundhouse over there on the other side of that elevated train track. You can kind of sort of see it. Very cool roundhouse. Nice that they were able to kind of include that. And then we have an airport right here. All kinds of aircraft. We have some sets and a couple creations. So nice little airport. And then, actually, this is one of my favorite builds on this whole layout. Look in the back. You can kind of barely see it from here, but it's the Washington Metro cars rendered out in Lego. And really a fantastic design. It's kind of, because the Washington Metro car is very distinctive design. And these are really the best Lego rendition I've ever seen. They might be the only, but I remember seeing these a couple years back. I think these might have been on BrickShelf, or they've been to a couple of these events, and really, really remarkable builds. I very, very greatly appreciate those. So make sure to check those out if you can, when you come to this event, or if you're able to look on BrickShelf or something like that. But really, really good stuff. So a very nice layout overall, and we have
the last building I'd like to point out here is that the Coke Zero building right there. So that's really cool the way they did that build. It's all along the side of the building. It has Coke Zero written in it. I've never seen that kind of thing before, so that's really cool.
And did we mention the train station also, right? We have
yes, we do have, yeah. Right here's the train station. The B&O Railroad Station at Harper's Ferry.
So a really nice roof kind of rendered out here. It really does look like one of those turn-of-the-century railway stations. And it has a little trainmaster's office on top. So wonderful, wonderful stuff.
For sure. Now, I think next over here we're going to take you to the Charm City lug layout.
So this is Baltimore's Lego users group. Baltimore's, all the little, I guess, Baltimore metro area, right? Something like that?
Yeah. So not too far from BrickFair as well, and then
but I guess just far enough that they can't really participate with the WOM LTC.
Yeah,
club. It drives a little brutal.
Over here, you've got some cool smaller buildings, like you got a Harris Real Estate building. You've got a lot of the modulars right there mixed in, and then massive. What is that? Red? Is that
dark red?
Dark red. Okay.
And you can see that I think the dark red 1x4 tile was widely available at one point. So most of this build is consisting of that. So nice to be able to use such a rare color and such quantity to do something so massive. It really is a remarkable, remarkable build. And lots of some city sets in here, so Palace Cinema, and there's a lovely Ghostbusters
build. Yes, that's becoming more and more popular to build the Ghostbusters.
Definitely, and he has the new Lego Kusu/Ideas set out front. Awesome stuff. And then kind of moving on, we got a little home here. That's the old Creator House set. Very cool, and some swing sets, and a little bit of a mech.
Yes. Is that the Lego movie?
I think that's one of the Lego movies.
Yeah, Emmett's mech from the Lego movie.
I think so. Yeah, very nice. And then a train station in the background, some other little city buildings. And here's a wonderful bridge. This is really remarkable, kind of a truss bridge, right? Something like that.
It's simply interesting. You don't see a lot of these on a train layout. This is interesting, the way that a lot of Technic pieces involved here to keep this all standing up.
Definitely, and it sort of allows them to have a layout that has an easy way in and an easy way out, because you can just kind of duck under the bridge instead of having to duck under so many tables.
Yeah.
And another Simpsons house set, very cool. And some old Agents mechs from, I guess, what was that? It's Agents, the first Agents line or something like that. Second wave of the first Agents line? Not too sure.
I think so, but yeah, some
looks like
cool
a
Agents.
Notre Dame right there. little model of, I believe it looks like that church in Paris, right? Cathedral de Notre Dame?
Yes, very similar. It's that has that look to it, the windows,
And this is a Lego flower mosaic. That is awesome. So he's taken flowers and he's kind of turned it into a mosaic. So he's written out the Lego logo there, all in Lego flowers. That is ridiculous.
I've seen a lot of, Lego versions of the logo, but I think that's the first time I've seen it all in flowers, especially that small of scale. That isn't that easy to...
That is really awesome. Very, very cool. And then moving on down, we have some more train track here. Green base plates and little Lego trees.
And then some interesting space stuff taking place here as well. There's almost like a space base right there is what that is. And he's got ways to go in and out, the ship's landing and everything. Very cool build.
The tower crane standing up there and some more mechs scattered around. Very nice. And here's a little train yard.
So this is not just a train layout here. They've got their mechs, they've got the space. Yeah, they've got everything going on here.
More of the train layout here. Very, very cool. And here it looks like that's a Googie style. We're going to read the name text, so we're not going to...
It's Vincent Hills Central.
Mid-century train station. This is a lovely mid-century modern design. Lots of rounded kind of shapes sort of on the front of it. And this doesn't look like something that, would have been built in any American city around the 1950s, 60s, something like that. So really lovely build. If you notice, he has those wedge pieces kind of in a reflective metallic color. That's pretty neat. I didn't notice those until just now.
He's got lights going on as well, so you can get the light coming off those with the reflection. It looks really neat that way.
So this is your big city train station, so big city like Baltimore, something like that. And then lovely little townhouse. It's a little town buildings here. It looks like there's shops on the ground floor, maybe apartments above, but they're kind of at almost that Disney scale, where the first floor is rendered out into minifig scale, and then as you get up, it gets smaller and smaller. So it kind of gives that effect of there being more than there actually is there. But overall, just wonderful designs in those. I love the snot roof, or not snot, but
tiled
roof, but at an angle. So that's very nice that they're able to do that.
For sure, and I think that finishes up the Charm City lug for us. Over here we've got this is North Carolina
Lego train.
Yes.
So this is based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. A couple members contributing to this. A lovely little train yard right here. Moving on, we see a little train house. This was built by, I believe, Matt Gibson, who is a wonderful builder out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And then we have a little bit of a dark red train, this is a dark orange train station right here.
Appreciate this beautiful build right here, built by Matthew. When he's not in front of the closet doors, moonlights as a train builder.
Yes. So train builder, town builder. I built some stuff with Lego bricks once in a while, but nothing too crazy.
So this is one of his builds here that he is displaying wonderfully for us at BrickFair. Yeah. So you'll see some more of his stuff here in a little bit. But as a North Carolina native, this is his...
And then this is the background here. This is the No-Tell Motel built by Dan Larson. And if you notice that running around the perimeter of the little walkway, it's kind of, they're like grill tiles, but inside the grill tiles, Dan's taken the time to insert some L-wire, which is this kind of like photoactive, like electric wire that you can kind of like fit perfectly into the grill tile to give it almost like a neon effect. So it's really, really cool when the lights are all turned off, those worlds of lights, all those kind of events. It really, really looks very, very sharp. Here, John's kind of turning down the light on the camera there so you can see, but very, very wonderful build. And the pool is also lit up as well. And so moving on, we have some more town buildings over in the North Carolina Lego Train Club layout. And then this are some of my buildings over here. Yes. So I have a little gas station, some dark green stuff, always fun. Nothing too crazy. And then moving on, there's a Hello Kitty head. These are some buildings by Sabrina Gravitt. She is also a builder based in North Carolina who is doing some work out of state right now, so she's not able to make the event, but these are some of her lovely, lovely builds. Really, really a lot of work put into those. And then this is a wonderful house by Joanne Mercer. She is a builder based out of Gastonia, North Carolina.
Color on
that is light yellow, not your cheapest color. Light yellow, not your cheapest color. So very, very...
Is that a cheese slope roof?
That's a cheese slope roof. Lots and lots of time, money, and effort put into that build right there. Very, very cool. And it's a very interesting roof, all those cheese slopes. And I guess what is that, those olive green cheese slopes that were on the Pick a Brick Wall a while back?
Yes,
so really wonderful use for those. Because it does kind of look like a sort of a slate roof tile that was maybe left out to the elements for a while. So wonderful, wonderful stuff.
Mixing of great colors there, great technique.
Awesome. And then you can see Dan Larson's, he was the one that built the No-Tell Motel we just saw earlier. There's his Conrail engine, so looking sharp as always. Very cool.
I think that finishes it out for this display.
That's it for the North Carolina Train Club layout.
Displays next year.
On to the Technic.
Yes. So all along here are some beautiful Technic displays. here at BrickFair. Obviously, you use a lot of the Next engines in these and things like that. So, take you all down the line. Great variety of Technic builds here. You see some boats, some trucks, whatever you could want.
We have a car underneath, darn it.
Yes, there's a car here as well, so a helicopter, all sorts of beautiful builds here. You've even got some interesting CD spinning.
Like hypnosis.
Yes, they've got all sorts of CDs and different designs that you can look at there. And then a little, almost sort of a Great Ball Contraption style thing there. Oh, and there's a BrickFair can, BrickFair 2010 can. So, not Technic, but still cool.
Definitely. Always nice to see all that BrickFair memorabilia,
Yes.
line out. People are really repping the event from years past.
Coming along the other side of the Technic display here, we've got some all-terrain tactical enforcer, kind of a mech walker.
Looks like these were nominated for Best Mind Storms.
This arm right here is actually robotic hand and arm piece. Actually, it lights all up. He's got a glow stick in there. Some cool Technic pieces.
Wonderful build by Dave Voltaggio. I'm not sure if that's how you say that last name, but I'm going to say that might be it. So,
and we've got it's actually nominated for Best Mind Storms, and it's really
that is
neat
definitely
build.
deserving of that nomination.
Some taller stuff over here. The big pole of awesome right there. So some more cool Technic. This is one of those builds where a line follower, where it follows the black line all around. And here's the Spectre VR, some more cars, tracked builds.
And this is absolutely beautiful. This is a Morgan three-wheeler. And so usually these Technic creations, and we always say this about everything, but a lot of times it's just like the superstructure of the car, and there's not really too much effort taken to kind of sort of round the edges and dot the T's and cross the I's, all that kind of stuff. I believe that's dot the I's and cross the T's. But this build, the builder of this vehicle has really taken a lot of time and effort into making it just kind of all the body is very well sculpted out. So really great attention to detail here.
So even without the Technic, this would be a great car model, but with the Technic, it makes it just that much cooler. And coming along here, we got some smaller Technic models to finish it out at the Technic. Then we'll bring you on down here to Bender, which if you saw this at Brick World Chicago, really great build there. A group of builders just came in, so you can see a lot of bro lug here. So this is the Bender build, stores drinks in the stomach and everything. You can see how much they appreciate it here at BrickFair. And back over here we've got Chris Giddens' spaceship.
And there's this announcement, so that's nice.
This right here is Chris Giddens' beautiful spaceship that he brought to BrickFair. A massive build with so many great parts and techniques in there.
And I believe Josh had an interview with him earlier to kind of get his thoughts.
So we'll be posting that here, so you can keep an eye on the YouTube page for that as well. And you've got some M-Tron. This is a great M-Tron kind of monorail build here. Got a lot of moving parts in it. Track goes all around there. Then you can, a lot of gray and red mix going really well there.
And Josh, we have the builder here.
Okay.
So Blake, this is yours, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you wanted to give us a quick overview of what this build is?
Yeah, this is M-Tron was one of my favorite space themes as a kid. And, there are some AFLs that do it, but it's not the most popular. And so I decided to try to make something epic, to try to do it justice. It's a little...
It is underserved in the Lego community, isn't it?
It's a little challenging because it's admittedly sort of an ugly color scheme.
The red and gray don't always mix the greatest depending on how it's...
Yeah. The classic M-Tron actually had more black than gray. I tend to swap them as the secondary and tertiary colors just because the black is nearly impossible to photograph well.
Oh, yeah. So you've actually taken the time to think that, I want people to photograph this well, so I'm not going to use that much black.
Mostly I'm worried about myself photographing it well because I want to put it on Flickr.
That's awesome.
I spent hours and hours and hours editing the photos. I'm really kind of more picky than I need to be about it.
It's always important, though, to kind of present it as best you can, right?
Yeah. Presentation is everything. I mean, most of the people that see it are only going to see it online in photos.
Now, you've got a lot of tan slope work here. How did all that work out for you? You try to do a lot of snot techniques?
It's an interesting choice of base, because it's all kind of snotted to the side, sort of down, lay flat.
I really like to avoid studs, except for, there are a few here and there that are showing more as decoration, mostly the hollow ones. I like to avoid studs, so yeah, building the train sideways, it's kind of a good way to do it without having them showing. You can get a little bit more of a gradual slope with stacked plate, but and that can look great too. Yeah, I think this has kind of this style has sort of an interesting look for the sand, because you can make sort of like lines like you might see on a sketch.
Sure, yeah. Works really well with the whole base as well. So
sure.
Very cool there. Well, thanks for talking to us about that.
Thank you.
No problem. So then, moving along here, we've got the GARC layout. This is the Galactic Asteroid Rally Circuit. So you've got all around here, all different. So I think there's over 50 contributors to this from all over the world. They send their GARC builds in and contribute to the layout here. So great lighting on this build. Really awesome builders contributing to it. Really well done. Coming along here, we have Jacob Forrestfeller build. We mentioned him before. Really great builder there. So this is the Phoenix, great spaceship.
Choice of colors on that build. Lots of
very patriotic looking. Yes.
So awesome.
This is, if America ever has a futuristic space program like that, this is how the ship will look.
Ship-Timber. Ship-Timber. That's the name of the game for that build.
So this is some more kind of desert looking. You got a lot of tan going on here. Some locust drone attack. This is built by Simon Liu here as well. Very cool.
Also using
techniques.
Some of that tan brick on the side to get the rock work. And then here we have another layout, little space layout here.
There's actually some moving rocks if you see in the background there. That's an interesting techniques going on there with the rocks kind of wiggling back and forth. And then you've got the purple hands coming out of the ground, the crawlers and mechs, spaceships all over the place. A little bit of everything space related on this build. And then along here, some more sand green, olive green here. Some of those mechs. Great, the space pirate ship. So you've got some purple minifigs, some green minifigs. You get the black ship going on. And then the blue sails. Now, are those blue sails official Lego, or?
It looks like he might have cut some either some kind of cardboard or a plastic folder piece or something. Or those might be from a Mars, like one of those Mars Technic kits.
Yeah, one of those.
Back.
Okay.
Not too sure though. I would have to kind of look that answer up for you.
And then kind of another Benny the Spaceman minifig. I've lost track now. I think that's 2 or 3 different Benny the Spaceman minifigs.
Very fond of Benny the Spaceman.
Yes. Very cool. Here's a few different variations of the Mars Curiosity rover. So you've got the designer here at BrickFair, so he brought in a few of those to display so people could see kind of the evolution of that build as it went through the different stages.
Stephen Pockbuzz, right? Designer of the...
Yes.
So he is here, and he has been kind of voicing his thoughts on the whole process. Very interesting to hear from somebody who's so actively involved with the Kusu / Lego Ideas process.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Really great set there as well. A few more spaceships along here. Finish that area out, and then here to the left we've got a massive Brolug display. So a whole bunch of different builders contributed to this. They've got massive spaceships, they've got lighting, they got the green swamp look with it. So many cool modules and things in this build. Matthew, you want to describe a little bit of what's going on here?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on here. I do not know if I could describe it and do it justice. There's large spaceships. There are many intricate creations. There are lots of blue things and gray things and black things and green things. Really, words cannot do this justice. We're going to take a 1 moment of silence, 1 moment being 1 minute, and we're just going to kind of show you the layout. So John's
1 minute might be a little too long for that. We might give you a few seconds of silence.
We're going to give you some silent, thought-provoking video right now. Here we go. And here we have one of the builders eating chips over the layout. Ignacio, do you want to give your thoughts on this collaborative display?
No paparazzi. No paparazzi.
Okay, he's too busy for that, but as you saw, a beautiful build there, like we said. So some really great stuff from Brolug here at BrickFair this year. And I think that will about finish it out for us. So I think
that, so we probably missed some stuff. We're sorry.
And then we might go over and hit there was one more display we wanted to hit. We'll see if we can do this here. The Greater Florida Lego Users Group is, I believe,
Greater Florida Lego Trail,
yes.
something on GFLTC, GF.
So that's way over here on the other side of the convention floor. So we're gonna walk over there right now and get coverage of that for you guys. We had missed that earlier in the tour with the layout of BrickFair here.
Every last thing. We're going to show you every last thing. Let's take a moment to look at a BrickFair trash can. Come on, come on. Come on. So this is what the trash cans look like at BrickFair. As you can see, there's some cups in it, lots of interesting stuff, some Lego trash. We just want to make sure you know what everything looks like here. Here we have some vendor booths. We're walking through the vendor area. This year, Todd has decided to put the vendors in the middle of the room, which greatly improved traffic flow. However, for the builders, it's a little bit difficult because the builders have all their creations spread out all around the convention floor. So for me to get from where my stuff is over there to over here takes an awful lot of time, but for the public, the traffic moves a lot better, which is great. So we're kind of passing through. This is more vendor area stuff. Here's that North Carolina State Capitol we passed earlier, and we're almost there. We're getting there.
Passing the Penlug booth that we showed you earlier.
Here's Penlug to the... Look over there. We got Penlug? Yeah, Penlug. Very nice. And it's a little bit darker on this side of the room, but it appears that we have arrived.
We have arrived at the Greater Florida Lego Users Group display. So really cool stuff here. We can just start in right here at the
this is looks like a Delvalug collaboration here. Lots of different space builds. There's a Lego Space Mosaic by Daniel Pecora over there. It's a wonderfully rendered out Lego Space logo, kind of set up against the black backdrop.
Clear bricks, done really well there. Makes the space logo and everything.
Very well done. And we have some Star Wars ships here. And it's a very. You'll take a moment to appreciate the train track here on the ground. So this is what including trains in space is always kind of a challenge. And so here they've done a very nice job of sort of covering the train tracks up with blade tile. So it looks kind of futuristic, sort of spacey. Sort of hides all the cross ties because in the future, what railroad's going to have cross ties, right? That's that's so 20th century, right?
That's old history of the past and the future. So yeah,
so
the
amazing,
tiles
remarkable.
The monorail look at first.
Oh yeah, remarkable stuff. Remarkable stuff.
And then this is a massive classic space kind of looking layout here with the blue track, and then here is a monorail as well. And
then this monorail is very special. This kind of falls in that category of non-official Lego monorail. So what this monorail, it's like it sort of hangs kind of off of the side, and so it has a kind of arm that sort of wraps around the old style Lego train track, and it kind of goes around just on, like, I believe one wheel, kind of just sort of hanging right there, you know. And there's a monorail in Europe, I believe, that this is kind of, that idea is based off of. But that's the only kind of that style rendered in Lego. Really, really unique stuff.
Then some more space all along here. You see some of the classic space creations. You got spaceships, all sorts of different colors. So stop here real quick. You got this massive spaceship here. This is a really, really cool build with such big, 3 or 4 feet high. It's the Phoenix, also known as the Fiery Phoenix. This was great blue and red, gray color scheme here. We made a big landing pad for it with some neat designs on that. Very good build. Another monorail here. This one's black though, uses a lot darker colors.
Buildings that you might recognize if you're familiar with the Atlanta skyline. You probably would recognize these buildings. I think that might be. I know that's the Atlanta West End, and then there's that building that has the crazy roof. So these are definitely Atlanta.
SunTrust Plaza, I believe, is what the card says.
Hey, that might be it. Yeah. But it's interesting that they've incorporated these buildings into a space layout. So interesting use of a town building there.
Oh, here's a beautiful baseball stadium.
So this is the George B. Steinbrenner Field. This is the training grounds for the New York Yankees in Tampa, Florida. So if you've ever been to Tampa, you would definitely pass by this if you're by Raymond James Stadiums over on the west side of the town. And really, really remarkable build. And this is the beginning of the whole Greater Florida Lego Train Club layout. So this has been nominated for Best Train and Town Building. Very well deserving of that nomination.
If you come back over here, you can see some of the advertisements on the back fence of the baseball stadium, just like a real stadium would have. You've got BrickLink advertisement, a BrickWorld advertisement there. And then
there's a Brick Journal advertisement right there, but you can't really see it from this angle.
But really great build.
Just to show you the attention to detail, this would be, I believe, Dale Mabry, Drive in Tampa, Florida, and in the corner, in the very back, there is a pedestrian bridge, and that looks just like the pedestrian bridge that actually crosses Dale Mabry, right by the New York Yankees spring training grounds in Tampa. So really, really great attention to detail here, but beautifully rendered out in Lego. So awesome stuff.
Florida builders all really went all out here. Here's the CM Wilson Middle School, and look at they used the larger, I believe, red bricks with tiles on top to make that brick look on the front, which is an interesting technique there. And then here's a Best Buy, which you don't see many Lego Best Buys. And then
Waffle House.
Yeah, next to it a Waffle House.
That's
so
some classic space stuff going on here. We got the big old, not classic space, but some space nonetheless. It looks like some Blacktron stuff. And a Kroger, always nice. And then this looks to be like a store-it-yourself kind of storage center. And I believe if you kind of can get in close there, it looks like they're filming an episode of Storage Wars in one of the units. So obviously someone left their ancient Egyptian casket in their storage locker. So that's probably going for a lot of money. Oops.
Very, very common thing to come upon in a storage locker, an ancient Egyptian casket. So
here we're getting to the main. This is like supposed to be, I guess, downtown Tampa. So you see lots of different Tampa landmarks. These are big buildings from Tampa. And this is really just a wonderful layout. Most of this done by Robin Warner, I believe, from Florida. So really nice they're able to get all of this up here to BrickFair Virginia this year. Really a wonderful layout.
Check out all the trans blue in this building right here. There's actually a bunch of these buildings actually trans blue seems to be a recurring theme.
Definitely. And if you think that the floors look a little bit small, then you would be right. And that's kind of using that technique we sort of mentioned earlier, but those buildings weren't really kind of using that technique too much, but these definitely exemplify that. So the first floor is full scale. It's like minifig scale, and then everything after that gets infinitely smaller. So it looks like it's perfectly rendered out building, but when you start looking at it closer, you're like, oh, wait a minute, that couldn't fit a minifigure, and you're right, it can't. But it looks like a big skyscraper, and it sort of makes the builds manageable. So very, very nice that he's kind of adopted that technique. It really allows him to sort of do some stuff that most clubs aren't able to. Awesome stuff. And a wonderful parking deck over there. You don't really see too many parking decks rendered out in Lego, and he looks to have two of them. So he is a parking deck builder extraordinaire.
Helicopter pad and everything there. So
good stuff, amazing stuff.
A parking deck.
And an elevated highway right around the pole here. Awesome stuff. And an Embassy Suites. And this looks like something from the channel side area of Tampa Bay, which is awesome. So really, really rendering out all of downtown Tampa and surrounding area here. Good stuff.
For sure. Moving on down here, we're almost done with the Greater Florida Lego Users Group here, and
Lego Train Club. Lego Train Club.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And then you've got the
Oh, this is the Tico streetcar. So this is a Tampa landmark, and this is the streetcar that kind of runs from downtown Tampa through the Channel Side area over to Ybor City. And he has one of just a wonderful build of what one of the streetcars looked like, and it's just a really, really nice dark red on the roof, and some wonderful techniques used to kind of render out the doors. And I believe if you can get in a little bit closer, you'll see that the technique he's used to sort of get that reflective look on the doors is kind of putting grill tiles in. So those are like reflective grill tiles, I think. I want to say. But either way, really a wonderful build. Something that is definitely, you can spend a lot of time taking that in, really got to praise that. Very, very cool.
Along here we've got a Technic bridge similar to the one we saw earlier on.
One of those truss bridges, very cool. And a Lowe's home improvement store, and nominated for Best Town Trim Build.
That's a really instantly recognizable build with the blue and white there.
And then moving on down, we got some more wonderful stuff here. These are some Amtrak cars, and they were nominated for Best Train Car. And these really are just wonderful builds. You don't see too many people building Amtrak cars because, if you've ever been on Amtrak, maybe not the most pleasant experience ever, but they really are beautiful cars because they're so long. And this is just a wonderfully rendered version of those cars in Lego form, and obviously wonderful enough to get a nomination for Best Train Car. So
and
awesome.
There's so many trains here that if you get nominated for a train award, then you really, you've got some serious talent there because there's so much competition in that category.
Totally. And this is a lovely roundhouse. So awesome stuff that they kind of have that brick built pit, You can see on the side all the staggering of the brick to kind of get a really nice effect going. So good stuff. All right, so we said we would try to cover everything, and it appears we may have forgotten something.
One small display that we wanted to make sure we got to you.
And maybe small isn't the right word. This is the Mini-Con. So this is a collaboration between Daniel Pecor, Marian Asunama, and several other builders. And basically the idea is that you're supposed to bring a mini-land scale version of whatever you actually bring to the convention and put it on display here. So you can see there, some builders have done it and some builders haven't. There's definitely some empty table space, but overall very, very well filled out.
And lots of mini-land figures throughout this whole thing too. Some of them representations of actual people at the conventions. Over here you can see on the Great Ball Contraption table, Thomas Mueller and his massive Great Ball Contraption module he's got there, and Thomas is standing underneath it.
Definitely. So, some wonderful stuff here.
Then over here is a really great Brick Arms as well back here, so definitely make sure to get a shot of that.
Lovely representation of the Brick Arms booth here at BrickFair.
Some more table space here. Like you said, there's some blank table space because not everyone brings their builds in mini-land scale, but then you've also got packed out table space like a couple of these displays here, some Train Club displays.
Oh, and this is a really, really wonderful one. This is the Greater Florida Lego Train Club. This is their layout. And so if you remember earlier, we were looking at, this is the Yankees spring training ground, and there's that bridge across Dale Mabry, even in mini-land scale form that's there. That's awesome. And then here's a train yard, and maybe that's Robin Warner playing around with the bricks, or Mark Stafford, someone like that. And then here's downtown Tampa in all its glory, and you can see that sand brick road rendered out here in mini-land scale version 2, which is really, really awesome. This is really a great part of the little mini-con layout. So moving on.
Here we've got one of the carnival games here at BrickFair actually. So this is the throw it in the bucket and win a prize. You can get the ping pong ball in the Lego, one of the Lego buckets. And then here's the chairs for where all the talks and the auction and everything takes place.
Very cool. And then there's the Milton Trainworks display over there, the little where he sells. That's Larry Pesniak's selling booth. So he has all of his, recently retired or very, very not so recently retired sets for sale, and he's over in the corner there.
Big Red with his partial setup right here. You can see the tan and blue there.
There's his in-progress ship display and his long white ponytail. Very, very iconic character.
A little bit of the labyrinth next to it as well there.
Pharaoh's Labyrinth, awesome stuff. And then we got a column here, and then on the other side of that,
we've got some interesting another train layout here.
That's the Walmart LTC layout, so you can see there are Kevin Locke skyscrapers, even in mini-land version.
And then you see the big blue play area there.
Yeah. And then here is where I believe this is the Charm City Lugs layout would be, and then this would be the North Carolina Lego Train Club layout. And is that a brick nerd? Is that a nerdly? Maybe a nerdly kind of guy? Not really sure. Looks kind of like it. Very cool. And then here we have some of the Technic stuff, which would be rendered. And then here so this is actually really funny. So this is this is where the Micropolis collaboration is. And so here they've decided to do instead of regular Lego pieces, they've used Module X. So it's kind of at the same scale as the Micropolis, which is a pretty nifty little inclusion.
So just use the Module X instead of larger bricks, and you can do it easily that way.
And then more of the vendor space down here. But overall, really an interesting idea to try and do a mini-land scale version of the actual convention.
And yeah, it's laid out just like BrickFair as well. So you know where the tables are placed, the entrances, exits, vendors, everything is laid out as close to BrickFair as they can get it.
Definitely, a lot of attention taken to detail here. So really good stuff. So if you're coming to BrickFair next year, be sure to bring a mini-land scale version of your build in. Feel free to include it in this collaboration. So really, really nice stuff here at BrickFair. Once again, thank you so much for watching.
Wanted to make sure we included this for you. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Definitely.